Welcome back to Exalted Dragonblood Edition. Last time, a considerable amount of things happened, actually. The group left the monastery of Absolute Repose's home. I have to actually remember because it's been 2 weeks. Was Yakuman last week? Or was that...
That
Okay.
was 2 sessions ago. Yakuman has
Okay.
not shown up in a while. Everybody's asking, where is Yakuman?
Where is Yakuman? Yes, I needed to refresh myself.
I would write the audience to know the insane amount of restraint I've been showing with Yakuman.
We came back out into our
behemoth.
adventure grid. We witnessed the Jimbus.
The mighty Jimbus was.
I got to know Jimbus.
Several fluids were acquired from the Jimbus. Beyond that, the outlying village of the Jade Orchid Prefecture was approached. The dragon slaying bird was met.
I've got a problem.
Was it?
Jimbus is a proper name. He's not the Jimbus.
Nah. Jimbus was met.
Jimbus.
Yeah, yes.
Mr. Jimbus.
Jimbusan.
Jimbusabi.
Jimothy.
In the meantime,
Village was seen. Locals were
Village was seen. Exigent was met. Politics was discussed. Politics made everybody angry, as is his wont. A town was passed through very briefly to just go down the road and get some supplies. And as the most important part of the journey, really, honestly, Yang got his ass kicked.
Yang learned so much about fighting.
Oh my god, the science that happened.
Hey, I didn't kick Yang's ass. I taught Yang.
You just taught me drill punches.
You kicked Yang's brains ass, which is honestly more valuable.
Oh yeah, where are we starting ourselves off? Are we just at camp somewhere between here and?
You are, it is.
You can closing in on Mystery Geyser and
Mystery Geyser or Plague. So, yeah, this was the last more you can probably reach this by midday to evening if you went that way, or you could continue on. So yeah, there is a brief moment for the thing you wanted to discuss.
I guess what time of day is it?
Mid-morning at this point.
I've probably already done my drill punches. Yeah, I guess at some point I woke up pretty early. I did my drill punches that Obsidian taught me. And then I walk into my tent and I'm going to start analyzing the Jimbus juice and I'm just going to do a bunch of science bullshit.
Okay, so to put this on stream, because I mentioned this elsewhere, I believe during Lore stream.
Yeah.
The Jimbus juice is highly distilled water essence with a heavy infusion of wood essence, which in effect makes it the water of life. Not exactly like the fountain of youth kind of water, but it is the concept of water as the substance that carries life and sustains life. It is almost that to a metaphysical degree. It is some of the most potent stuff you've ever seen for using a curative as a base for a curative, or the dosage makes the poison, so you could probably do something pretty horrible with it too.
Meat water.
So he's probably just doing a bunch of generic tests to be like, what's its acidity stuff, just categorizing stuff and writing it down in a journal of what is this material, what does it seem to do, what are its properties.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's going to try some weird nonsense because his occult's 4 now, so he's just going to be like, what if I also did this?
All right.
I'm gonna put it in. What's the most spiritually sensitive material?
There are a lot of them. The one
what conducts wood aspect the best?
Green jade, which you happen to have on hand via your crossbow.
Would I happen to have green jade, just like a green jade bowl in my cabinet?
That is a bit of a stretch, but I would let you have a finger of green jade as a testing material.
Yeah, that's basically just what I'm just like a really small thimble to a shot glass, no more than that.
Yeah, it's a rock, so it's a little pinky sized little polyhedron.
You got a
Okay, that's
chunk.
good enough.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna lay out a beaker of some sort. I'm gonna put the green jade in it. I'm gonna put the Jimbus juice in it. I'm gonna smoke my fancy dancy new Yang brand cigarettes, and just start,
jazz cigarettes.
Jazz cigarettes is all I like to call them, or whatever jazz is analogous to the music in this world. And just start flaring out my aura in like a constructive way instead of triggering myself by thinking about my shitty past like I did the last time. And then just gonna start like trying to infuse the Jimbus juice with my own aura.
Roll me intelligence occult +1 for the stunt.
My cat's on my mouse. Hold on.
I understand that struggle. Mine is in my lap.
1D 10D? What is it? Hold on. What do we roll?
It is.
So it'd be 10D10.
Yeah.
Ah, you see, the green jade started to twist in place, meaning that Yang is a manipulator.
This is literally what I'm. Yeah, this is literally what I'm doing. But I just want to see what Darren does with the same premise.
Do I bite the hook or not? Is the question.
Do you want to fill out lore questions, or do you want to
it.
have? Yeah, let's do something fun with this. Let's get into theoretical physics and Exalted.
All right. So as your aura goes into the water, it begins to not so much replace or like move aside the already put in wood essence. You can feel it more kind of like overlay itself, like it's following a path that's already been set, and the green jade inside of it begins to float up from the base of the water and kind of orient itself perfectly along the waves that are coming off of you via your anima. It is more or less kind of magnetically aligning itself to you.
Huh. I was expecting nothing at all, actually. This is fascinating.
You build the compass, and it's pointing to the nearest and strongest source of wood.
I hope no one walks in on me during this moment of vulnerability and, fucks up my experience.
Doing weird wizard shit.
Yeah, why would I disturb
Who would be so rude as to like creep up on behind somebody? And
why would I disturb my good friend Thousand Miracles Yang?
Why would
Probably
old man
breakfast.
be here?
of course, that would be old man doing something proactively, so not likely to happen.
But also, it could be old man messing with someone, which is immediately what old man would do.
Old man would probably tell Milan to go make Yang. Like, no, that would mean old man wouldn't want anything, and that's not in brand with him.
Mm-hmm. But right now, it is basically you have appeared to make some sort of resonator for wood essence or any sort of like major essence font, and it's pointing at you. It's there. This thing is a bottle of such intensely distilled essence that you're able to make it do things with your mere presence because it's just reacting to, oh, there's another source of magical energy right next to me.
Oh, we got a Yang detector.
Oh no, that's bad.
We got a Yakuman detector.
Oh no, that's worse.
Is this the Yaku signal?
Is this Yakuman's kryptonite somehow?
Is this Ron?
No, this is Pon.
Show me pawn.
So show a Pon.
Basically, and the to point it out earlier, the other thing I said during lore session while you were poking around was that the bottle that you got from the pools and the watermants is 100% just no bullshit, nothing else in it, water essence. However, it is structured in such a way that you barely even follow that somehow is able to retain information. Like, the structure of the essence inside of it is able to transmit information when consumed, and fuck if you know how that's even happening.
Yeah,
How
that's
is it-
something I'm probably going to
Water's not meant to, like, stay like that. Water is fluid, water is manipulative, and water will flow, and why is water holding something intelligent and keeping it translated into one shape? That's, like, what did you do? What? Tell me your secrets, water.
This is just Yang the scientist having fun right now. But
Yes.
does Milan actually walk in on this?
Yeah, Milan walks in with this carrying your breakfast.
I guess. What would I roll to see if I keep my composure during this?
Are you having
Willpower?
PTSD about breakfast?
No, I'm just probably like trying to focus on something.
You immediately check if there's a rock.
Wits integrity is the resolve roll.
Okay, that's the resolve composure equivalent. Yeah, wits integrity.
Hold on, let's start over. My wits is 3, my integrity is... Oh, okay. Actually, that's not bad. Nice. Wow. Fuck yeah. I don't give a shit.
You are completely unfazed. In fact, you actually heard Milan coming from about 20 feet away.
You are completely unfazed by breakfast. You will never be caught off guard by breakfast again. Not
Like,
after you consumed the rock.
You're able to put your experiments into a stable position before Milan even gets in the tent.
I'm
Yang?
gonna write this down. Yeah, put it down over there. Hey, come over here and help me with something.
Sure. Do you want anything on your oatmeal?
No, sit down.
Okay.
Do I have anything on hand that's water aspect?
That would be,
That would be Spanner.
yeah, Vanif is air.
Oh wait, wind. My bad. Yeah.
air aspect. I would say you have a tiny sampler of each of the nothing that would be useful in any artifact sense or any magic sense, but having it as like a chemistry component for a reaction.
I'm
Does-
gonna lay out one beaker that has the source
Does
water
Ye-
in it, and that
Yang,
has
does Yang carry around a tiny bottle of bottled lightning? Is that a thing that could exist?
All right.
That,
Okay.
that is something that I would believe would be in the chest. But yeah, Loon?
I think it would be appropriate to assert that Yang did, in fact, lose track of which member of the team is which element.
yes, I did
Yeah.
put that
No,
down.
that is actually fully appropriate.
Okay, so yeah, while I'm opening up the drawer, I'm like, wait, which aspect you? I'm so sorry.
Air?
Okay, cool. Anyways, check this out. I'm gonna pull out a vial of dust and just like, see, check it out, right? It's nothing, right? And I'm gonna give it to Milan and tell him to shake it. That's actually rad. It's so like, yeah, it's lightning dust. It'll start crackling in there. It's like basically a Tesla ball in there right now.
It feels very comfortable to hold in Milan's hands.
Okay, put it in the speaker.
All right, I
And
forgot the
then-
formatting on those, but hey, that's
That's
a
5
5.
success.
If either of you would like to throw some awareness around and subtract 2 successes from the result.
Is Moat around?
Is Mode around?
Just awareness?
Mode's established. Mode has not been
Perception
established.
awareness.
Yes.
So 5 plus 4.
Nope.
9.
All right, so Yang notices that Moat is settled in somewhere very intensely watching the experiment. Moat seems very excited by watching the magic thing.
Mode is actually somehow inside the artifact cabinet the next time that Yang opens it, just sitting on one of the racks of
Oh, what's
the
up, buddy?
middle space.
I'm gonna open up a different cabinet and give Moat a treat.
Aw. Aw.
You're welcome in there anytime, my friend. And I move the drawer over to give him a good view.
All right.
So you just want me to drop this in the water?
Yeah, just pop in the water and then flare up your aura and try to like infuse it. Just like wow in there, you know?
Alright.
Like wow.
Bloop. And I'm just gonna focus cold into it. Go ahead.
You roll me intelligence occult as well with a 2
Okay.
die stunt. With a 2 die stunt for shaking that bottle out of character.
Yep.
Yeah, that was good.
So you get 1 willpower back if you were low.
Only 4.
That's pretty
Well,
good.
that's still pretty good. You begin to channel air essence into the water, and as usually happens when air essence meets water essence, the water begins to freeze. The interesting thing is that as it freezes, it begins to have a pattern through the ice that is similar to what you know, like scarring on trees or the ground or people. when they are struck by lightning, the Leidenfrost effect, that pattern is all through the ice.
Wow.
Sick.
It almost
Wait, hold on. What did you just describe as the Leidenfrost effect?
Isn't that what like the fractal branching when lightning?
No, the
hits
Leidenfrost effect is when basically water is like forming a steam shell between the actual like water and the
I
surface,
screwed
and creating a hydrophobic surface.
So what's
Right.
the
No, I goofed up on the terminology on that one. Thank you. Yeah, no,
whatever it's called? Yang is like, hold on, let me just. Okay, cool. Let me just sketch this real quick.
was thinking of the Lichtenberg pattern.
Ah, there you go. But yeah, I've got my journal out, just like, interesting.
Yeah, it's just making a fractal set of branches through the ice, and you've never quite seen it do that.
That's pretty.
Interesting.
It actually kind of fits the lines of essence that you felt the information inside of it following, as though it is following the same sort of electrical path. Of the path of least resistance.
Did you just... Were you visualizing this in your head? Like, abstractly, not like this exact pattern, just like the movements of, you know.
Yeah, I kind of was putting in my mind while I was filling it with cold air essence, just kind of, I usually think of like lightning striking, causing this cold. That's how I do that whole lightning thing. You sometimes see me in combat.
Huh. I wonder if there's a...
You ever been struck by lightning?
No. Actually, can you do that? Well...
Get struck by lightning?
No, can you strike me with lightning?
I love Avatar: The Last Airbender.
I could do that.
Yeah, okay, let's go outside. Let's do some more science. I'm gonna work my book and
I love every scene with Yang and Beneath together. They're the best.
This is just that scene from Avatar, except Uncle Iroh isn't around to say, "What the fuck are you talking about?" No.
I'm only going to do a withering attack.
Yeah, it's fine. Let's and note what the line, and then we'll compare it with my journal, right? Science.
Yeah.
Anyways, come on, let's do this.
I'll try and do the exact same thing I did with that water.
And then Beneath casts thunder on Yang.
Roll me a withering attack just to see how effective it is.
Oh, someone else is going to get struck by lightning finally. Good.
5 successes.
Oh, this is some
Oh,
good
no, wait.
science.
Hold on. This is
Yeah.
withering attack, which means how far away from you am I?
How far away would you make Yang walk before shooting?
I would have asked what the optimal range for your lightning is.
Oh, God.
So I'm up close.
And also, Yang would not be applying defensive values.
Okay, that's 2 additional successes.
All right. Yang, briefly, the world goes black. The next sensation you process is that you are on the ground, your ears are ringing uncontrollably, you see spots, and there is a bizarrely cold patch right above your right, kind of next to your chest and shoulder on your right side. It feels really cold.
Did I break my arm? Did I lose my arm?
You're able to move your body, although there is considerable protest from your limbs.
No, I don't move. I want to enter my mind palace and like do an autopsy immediately. I want to roll medical.
Fine, roll me intelligence medical with a 1 die stunt, you moron, instead of moving your fucking hand.
Yeah, let's give myself. I'm gonna slow down time and immediately go through every neuron in my body and be like, "What's the problem? Give me a shit report, buddy."
By the way, I would be going to the horses the minute I see that they're going to do something stupid, and so the horses don't run off.
Also, yeah, in the meantime, everybody else heard a thunderclap from across the camp, and now Yang's on the ground.
Where is this happening, by the way?
Oh, just outside my tent.
Like 10 or 15 feet from Yang's tent.
Okay.
I think my tent's.
So if you weren't awake yet, you're now awake.
It's a hell of a wake up call.
I mean, Obsidian was awake.
I'd be still filling another backpack full of rocks.
So you enter your mind palace, and you basically are going through your entire full shit. of what just happened to me. And the best guess that you can have is that enough air essence entered your body at once to completely scramble the usual connections the essence in your body relies on to do things. It's like having a very meticulously set up, like a how to put this? A very meticulously set up tower of mahjong tiles, kind of like a Jenga tower, and then somebody hits it with a baseball bat. Is what just happened.
That's really effective.
Is you're just kind of on the ground, and all of your normal signals to your body are interrupted by having to deal with the intense amount of not my essence that just came through.
So while Vanif is like, panicking in my like it's muffled off screen like Saving Private Ryan basically opening.
Yeah, no, you're half deaf and you're still working on getting your vision back fully.
No, I'm just gonna close my eyes and lean back. Is my brain? Well, I'm gonna just like see whatever's in my brain. Do I see a pattern anything like what Milan made?
Don't you die on me! Don't you die on me!
Like, was there like a fraction of a moment where I was sort of air aspected?
No, there was not a moment where you were air aspected. However, what happened was effectively a disruption of your natural state of being, and you have the feeling that if he had somehow hit you with a wood aspect equivalent of lightning, the same kind of thing would have happened with different ways your body would have gone wrong. It's not a matter of the element that hit you, it's that your internal balance got thrown the hell out of whack. Also, the physical impact of getting blasted by a lightning bolt.
Yeah, whatever.
There is the blunt trauma aspect of it.
So, okay. Now the fact that I've just been like meditating for a bit, are my senses back?
Yes, but your muscles are incredibly sore as you realize they've been entirely clenched for about a minute or so.
I'm gonna open up my eyes and just be like, and just sort of relax. And then whenever I feel like it, I'm gonna sit up. And I'm gonna look at Milan. I'm just gonna say, this has been very enlightening, thank you. I'm gonna open up my journal and write down.
Milan, in the meanwhile, would you have been like trying to get to the wound under the clothes? Like
I was
applying
first aid of like trying to apply pressure to the blunt trauma area where he got hit with lightning.
There was no bleeding, and from your general inspection, there was no real organ damage on the inside.
I'm fine.
But there was immediately a bright red livid set of scars of like Lichtenberg pattern on the chest that doesn't actually fit the pattern that was in the ice. It's a totally different one.
Oh, draw that. Here, I give you my journal.
Yeah, okay.
Your medicine is high enough. It looks like it was following your blood vessels.
Ooh. I mean, I can't draw it myself because her perspective is wrong unless I cut my head off, but I can't do that without dying. So
yeah, also Yang.
Scientist Yang is a fun character.
This is his morning ritual. And now we're just having a fun bonding moment. So he's like, yeah, fuck it, I'll play into it.
Proposes behind all of this in the middle distance, just kind of saying to no one, if you'd made it to even your second day at the temple, you would be less alarmed by this.
Milan, I'm fine. It's fine. Everything's fine.
Okay.
This is like a 2 out of 10 on the scale. All right, buddy.
Did I get it? Did I capture it right? And I hand you the journal.
It's a charcoal sketch of what appears to be a very livid and angry set of proto scars.
Yeah, that works.
Cool.
It's probably going to fade away, but it's going to burn like a lot for an hour or so.
Oh, whatever. I've had torture training.
Yeah, like again, for Yang, this is a mild sunburn.
Still want your oatmeal?
Oh yeah, right. Shit, that's probably cold by now. Hold on, let me go.
Mode is eating the oatmeal when you get into the tent.
No, bad.
I'll go get you another bowl.
Thanks.
All right, if you're actually going to try and contest Moat's claim to your oatmeal, he's going to take up a fighting stance.
Hmm. Let's have the camera cut away to someone else's morning while I try and wrestle this cat, and then we'll just see the effects of that later.
Okay. Anybody else have a morning routine they want to establish?
Moat, no bad. You dare.
You're gonna tell me to do something, bitch?
Right by mine of conquest.
So I guess the only thing in Obsidian's morning routine that would have been different than normal is, and he would have legitimately had gone a bit away from the camp.
Mm-hmm.
So this would have been the only people that would have seen him doing this would be anybody that would have been taking any sort of scouting position, like sort of looking away from the camp.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, anybody that might have caught this would have just caught Obsidian pretty far away, practicing his sword, which is weird because for all intents and purposes, as you have seen Obsidian fight in combat, it just seems like he sort of swings his sword around wildly with no actual thought behind it. You have seen him literally take a baseball swing stance with
With
his
a
sword
two-handed
with two
sword.
hands
Mm-hmm.
on a one-handed sword.
If he's not making a big deal of trying to like sneak away, I probably just based on innate perception and awareness notice
Yeah,
it.
no, you would basically anybody with a perception and awareness above 5 would probably notice him off in the distance.
I'm not going to approach him while he's in the midst of training. You do you. But when he comes back, I am going to have a conversation. So it matters on when Newbie wants to do that.
Whenever you approach him.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
basically,
when-
whenever Obsidian starts coming back, Angler is there.
So
Definitely.
how long you been doing that?
Doing what now?
Point to the sword. You haven't been doing that every day, every morning. What changed?
Just thinking back to some just everything with Yang going on. Thinking back to some old lessons that I had received.
Would you like a sparring partner?
Sidian would think for a moment and then come to then just return the thought of it's probably not the kind of techniques that you would spar with somebody with.
Think of it this way. A lot of times, if you're working on things, you need to see someone actually moving about rather than just shadows or images in your head. Even if I'm not using that sword, something might work.
Sidian just having another quick thought on it.
A loud crack of lightning goes off.
That might actually just be the exact moment where the conversation ends just due to what the heck was that?
The fuck is it doing?
It would be like a cautionary look over, and then I'll go catch the horses as they're bolting.
Yeah, like Obsidian would have opened his mouth to respond, maybe to accept the offer, and then just crack. Like, what? We should probably go look into
As
that.
Angler runs to catch the horses, he actually notices that Stalwart Daughter is standing directly in front of the
Oh,
impromptu
yeah.
gate.
I'm not even worried about her.
Yep.
No, she's blocking the other horses.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, fair.
She's a good horse.
Alpha mare.
The horses are all like panicking, and she's just staring at them like, "No, you morons."
All right, fair enough. And then I guess I would probably go see what's up after that. I'm expecting if there's not a lot more shouts afterwards, save for probably me hearing
Milan
screaming.
sobbing.
And by the time
Oh,
you
boy.
get the distance of anything to get on, I've done my like enlightening bit of just cleaning up. It's fine.
Are you good? Okay.
Yeah, it's fine. Everything's fine. Don't worry.
Did you skip the order for how we were going to do training? Because I thought it was,
Oh
Propose's
no,
turn
no, no,
next.
no, 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 no. This was business person. This was science time. Don't worry about it. All I learned was
pain.
Well, something, but I got data. That's all that
I'm
matters.
back.
Anyways,
Oh, you've also been struck by a Venif. Okay. It feels fun, doesn't it?
You actually, as Milan took down part of Yang's shirt, can see the scar on Yang's chest, and yeah, it looks pretty similar. Maybe a little more of a glancing blow, but
yeah, I'm interested in this part of just like what the effects are. I'll tell you about it later on the road. Anyways, we should start packing up and eating breakfast.
mhm.
Spanner looks over to his already collapsed tent and eat breakfast. Yes, we
I missed
should
if there was
do
any
that.
resolution to
And by
breakfast
that,
club.
I mean,
Not yet.
Angler interrupted,
yeah. Well, by the timeline, I've just gotten up and to go eat my.
and
my
then you
breakfast,
see
yeah. Now I've got
Okay.
into the tent, and now I'm fighting mode.
Okay, smash cut to. I'm assuming you're traveling to the geysers next. Yes.
They're kind of on the way.
Yes, that is on the way to Plague.
Yeah. So a few hours later, the group is approaching the geyser land, and it is apparent that this is a very geologically active area. Pretty much immediately, the first thing that hits you is the smell of sulfur, which also is the pain of sulfur in the many scratches all across Yang's chest and face. It's a distinct but still similar feeling to salt in the wound, is aerosolized sulfur in the wound.
Fascinating.
There is basically just a pockmarked field several miles wide that you can see in a depression of the area of geysers, and most of them seem pretty small and irregular, but there are mounds of them that are quite large, and presumably when those go off, it's an event. At this point, at the outset, let me check my private map. I actually haven't looked at the hidden map with all of the stuff on it in a while, so 1 second.
Special map.
20 lunars pop up.
You were
No.
assaulted by 18 bears.
Hey, what did you say was of interest about these?
About the geysers?
The majesty of nature is self-evident, but
Well, yeah. Actually, hold on. Let me recall what my
what
sex
drew
I
your
said about
attention?
the place.
These in particular?
About here. At this point, a couple in the distance, a couple of miles away, you can see the smoke of a midday campfire and a large-ish collection of tents.
So
If you had to count heads, it would probably be about 2 or 3 dozen people.
while Repose is saying that, I'm just gonna be like, I thought there was like a oh over there. See, told you. See, I knew exactly what I was doing. And,
Naturally. Slide away.
Moat has spent most of the walk asleep on Repose's shoulders, quite full.
fucking oatmeal thief.
Why in the world did the cat eat oatmeal?
Cat
Because
wants
I can't.
oatmeal.
I tried to
Because
stop it.
it was left
and
alone.
It took
It was
exception
left-
to that, and then
It
we
was
had.
Yang left it alone. Cat asserted dominance. Yang tried to fight him.
While Old Man says that, we just like smash cut to me.
I did not
somehow
say
getting,
that. Old man would never question whether or not cat would want oatmeal.
It's grass and water at the same time. That's amazing.
there's the-
Both things cats can't eat.
Yes.
Cats can't eat water.
Moat's just flexing at this point.
Cats can't eat water. Yes, correct.
As chat says, it's human food that cats can't have. Of course, cats want it.
It's forbidden milkshake like stuff,
Having owned many cats in my life, there are many things a cat should not and cannot eat that they will go for anyway.
Yep.
Life finds a way.
Cats I've had have never tried to eat anything that is not like made of flesh.
That's an ominous way of putting it.
It's
Right.
also
Well,
entirely accurate though.
No, I
Like,
get what you mean, but like, man.
You know, the cats I've
Rip and
lived
tear.
with, they usually want to go for the dog's food over the human food.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Does a cat without a dog? Because then there's only one choice.
Yep.
Faceless choice.
The cat understands that consumption is an act of political violence.
So,
Yeah.
on the approach, Yang would either remember, or the others would remember Yang mentioning, this was the reported possible hunker down point of the mercenaries that survived the coup of the Empire of the Bronze Axe. And judging by the small encampment in the distance, yeah, looks about right. That would be probably...
Shoddy work.
Yeah, no, it is... There are some earthworks and trenchworks around them, but it is... Actually, roll me perception or intelligence war, if somebody would be relaying information.
Mm,
Well,
Yes, I know
more.
I said that.
I feel like you specifically picked stats so that I could not get an advantage.
The two Warhammers in the team are strategist and our commander.
Yes.
All right.
Whoa. Sorry, I just clicked back over to the all dragons are brothers, and it finally loading. So I guess I minimized it when it was loading, and I just got all the noise at once. This all said, I still have 4 die.
I have no war. I just have 5 perception.
I
Wait, no, wait. It's perception. What's the other one besides? No, it would be perception.
Intelligence.
Intelligence. Oh, hold on. Let me add a couple more on that.
Wait,
yeah.
hold up.
And
I
as an
said
aside,
perception or intelligence, not and.
Oh, and okay, gotcha.
yeah, and as an aside, as the only person that has this, hey, I'm using the war excellency, so I actually
Hell
have
yeah.
7 die.
Do it.
Yep.
Do it.
Go for it.
Hey, what's up? Hold up. I gotta check out the other thing of this. Okay, it's
think
reroll 6s, which I
Reroll
got none
sixes?
of. Wait, I
got a
did get
six?
1.
You have one up. You have one
Toss
up.
that.
None.
Okay,
It's
so
1s and successes is what we got
Obsidian
here.
is a land of contrast.
so in order, from least to most, Milan, you look at those fortifications and they look like shit. They are thrown up in the hurry that suggests that they're here temporarily, but there is not enough movement to suggest they are temporarily, so it just looks bad. Angler, you get the impression that they are hastily put up fortifications that have been let kind of go because there's been nothing testing it. Obsidian, you get the impression that they're hastily made fortifications because of whatever they're afraid of comes to kill them, no fortifications they can make will matter and they're all going to die. So it's up there as just a deterrent for local banditry.
Yeah, I would just relay to the squad. Like, Vinny would say, man, those look like crap. I'm like, it's because they don't think they can beat anybody that attacks them.
It's a threat display, not an actual defense.
They're a broken force then.
Building
wanna go
walls out of
check out?
habit.
They do not expect to win any
Should we
fight.
do a random good deed?
Probably.
What good deed?
I don't know. That's why I said random.
If
They
you
probably need something if they're broken. Broken people don't have something.
Well,
I suppose, but it seems that the goodest deed to actually deal with the problem that they're having right now would be to take out the Bronze Axe, as that is probably who they are afraid of.
Well, yeah, but they might give us something.
Sort of like nods his head to, maybe.
let's go say hello.
Before we cause problems in someone's backyard, it's good manners to at least check in with them. How about that?
Everyone stick together. Don't go sneaking off. We want to make sure these people.
Adventure! Yay!
Yeah, we want to make sure these people don't get spooked.
Where's Yang?
I'm already stomping towards them.
Yang's gone.
No, if he's stomping towards, like, that's fine. It's the right direction. He's not going around like a side angle or something. We're good.
And he's a bush. I'm joking.
No, this is my assumption, is that Yang is going off to do Yakuman things.
None of you know Yakuman exists yet.
I know,
Suppose
but
we'll-
that's out of character.
Suppose we'll take out a small portable gong, just travel gong, for travel temple things, and just give it a ring.
Bong, 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 just very loudly. We're not trying to sneak up on you. So yeah,
Hit
it's
the old tranquil
They're
walk
sounding
into
the
this
war,
place.
the war gong.
yeah, it is. You are a group of 6 people going across broken terrain, dodging the occasional geyser that kind of spurts up a little bit, ringing a gong with a priest at the head, very obviously some sort of alchemist next to them, and maybe some combatants, but not nearly enough to take out a camp. Unless, Dragon Bloods. But at that point, they're probably of the opinion they're dead anyway. So, as you approach, there are a couple of people on the walls aiming, not fully drawn, but aiming in your direction with bows, kind of looking at you with a mixture of suspicion and just outright confusion of, well, you're approaching us.
Oh,
You're approaching me. But they haven't drawn back to fire, probably because that'd be murder on the limbs, and they don't fully think that you're a threat yet. So,
Oh, travelers.
I'll be right back.
Fair day to you.
Did this motherfucker just say fair day to us?
Shoot him.
that's about the reaction they have. Not shoot them, but the reaction is just like, what? Huh? As you approach, you can see that this is a pretty hard-bitten and also pretty hard on their luck mercenary set of people. Men and women covered in scars, top age of 40 at the most. Couple of missing fingers on one of the people with the bow. Just kind of staring at you like, what the fuck is this aristocrat doing here?
How do the sulfur fields treat you on this day?
As shittily as they ever do. One of them manages to say,
Making use of my specialization.
awkward small talk. Please go ahead and roll it with a 1-die stunt.
Yep.
Okay, during this awkward small talk, Spanner's just staring directly over at Obsidian like, please take care of this.
no. No, this is too funny. He's going to learn.
He's going to learn with an arrow in his brisket.
He'll be fine.
Somehow, some way, the sheer disarming nature of some fucking rich kid aristocrat waltzing up into the middle of this place with an armed guard and making awkward, polite small talk with them does not get Milan full of arrows, but is instead literally making them so confused that a few are setting their bows down on the wall to just kind of parse what's going on.
I would gesture at it and be like, see? You learned?
Yeah. And you know what? I did it deliberately. I've disarmed them. They don't see us as a threat.
Yeah, they legitimately do not conceive of you as a threat. They conceive of you as a what the fuck is happening.
I guess
If you
we're
were-
going to come in from a position of power, but it still works, so roll with it? Alright, whatever.
What brings you out here? Good. They clearly are waiting for a name.
Ah, yes, of course. How impolite of me. I am Milan of House Beneath.
That sends a ripple of kind of just, oh, fuck, looks across their faces. Look, if you're looking to hire, you're looking for the wrong people unless you want to have a bargain bin of broken men and women.
Oh, no, my good friends. We're just travelers heading westwards. We had noticed your campfire as we were traveling, and we thought we'd extend a warm greetings to you.
One of the women on the wall looks behind, scopes out the rest of the group, settles their eyes on Obsidian as the most likely to be actually reasonable person. How the fuck is he alive?
That'd be thanks to me.
Figured. Come on inside before you get yourself killed by something.
Spanner has a mild bristling moment of, really? He's the one who looks most reasonable? Fuck you, lady.
He's also very large.
Yeah,
that,
I know.
that has an
He's
aura
very
of
clearly
reasonability.
the bodyguard.
Wait,
Archetype.
how tall is Obsidian again?
Like
7
7
foot
feet.
8.
Yeah, he's huge.
Yeah, okay, you still got like a full 2 feet plus on me.
Yeah, he's like 6'12".
Also with presence, of a crowd, Obsidian will always stand out.
That's the thing. I have none stealth and will never take points in stealth because his whole gimmick is he's supposed to be noticed.
He is both
Yeah,
physically and
he's
emotionally huge.
first.
And as we go to enter, I turn to the party. give a big shit-eating grin and a wink of, "We got us in."
I give you a thumbs up. Yeah, fuck yeah.
Propose does not acknowledge this and just launches into a benediction as he continues traveling in.
Then look back and smiles like Groot and
Yep.
you just killed a dozen people with trees, turn around and go, huh?
Hey! But yeah, you make
See?
your way
I knew
into the camp.
I knew the idiot aristocrat angle would get us in there nice and easy.
You do get the feeling that they're not putting all of their weapons down, but they're at least
I know.
letting you inside the barrier of the camp.
And this is where Obsidian Shield takes over.
As you walk in, it is clearly a ring of tents around a central campfire that is burning pretty high for being, mid to late day at this point. You're not entirely sure why they have one in the middle of the day. There is something cooking on it, but it's like you could have a much smaller fire for a cook fire. So, otherwise, it's a ring of hide tents and general bric-a-brac. Angler and Obsidian would recognize instantly that some of these are old Legion tents from the Imperial Legions, like old tents, like almost having holes in them. Old.
Okay. Holes? They should be able to fit. Okay. He is getting more and more frustrated, I guess would be the best way to put it.
There's not actual holes in them, but it's like there is sewn on patches. Is my
It's
point.
just mostly that the amount of disrepair in this location.
Yeah, so you may place your tokens in, as this is the state of the campfire as you approach. There is...
I always forget how to grab tokens. Never mind, I figured it out.
There is a black-skinned woman by the fire who, by all respects of all the people around, seems to be the one who is in charge. She is currently has a long metal poker that she is roasting something that was probably identifiable once over the fire. And her other arm, halfway through the forearm, just kind of cuts off at a stump that currently has a woolen covering over it. Behind her is a man in armor who is got the bearing of a sergeant, but is also the sergeant that has realized we are in some shit. The woman looks up as you approach. So that's what all the shouting was about, huh?
Give me a moment to process my thoughts.
Sure, yeah, I figured.
Folks, those are not names, those are ranks.
Yes, for quick reference, this is using the Imperial Army's equivalent ranks of, officers. Fanglord is roughly the equivalent of a sergeant, and Talonlord is roughly the equivalent of a captain.
The various standard shogunate and then Imperial Army units are named after portions of a dragon, and then eventually an entire dragon for a very big unit.
It's Fang, Scale, Talon, Wing, Dragon, I think.
Wait, they would be immediately recognizable as their level within the army, correct?
This woman has clearly seen a shit ton of combat, and that man in the back has done a lot of small arms fights, yes.
Okay. So I'd look at the status of the tents. I'd look at the status of them. I'd consider where they are. And then would just immediately say to them, so were you abandoned or did you run away from the army?
What army? She laughs. She kind of rotates the thing on the stick. We're all that's left.
I see.
She kind of looks up. I'm sorry to if you were hoping for the Jade Barrel to be here in full force, but Bronze Axe didn't leave many people breathing behind if they didn't get out of there quick. We were contracted by the original ruler of the area as their private army, as they had none of their own, and they didn't seem inclined to be putting their own people through the ringer of the war.
So you're the army that was washed over
Yes.
I see.
She pulls what appears now, as she's pulling it out, to be some form of multi-legged lizard out of the fire on the stick and kind of peels it off with a boot on the ground before picking it up and starting to chew on it. This is a woman who has had enough years in camp that she no longer cares about things like eating with a plate.
How long has your lot been out here? Like after the events, not before.
Well, out here in this camp, a couple of months, I guess. Out here in general, ever since the fight.
Out of character, do we know when the Bronze Axe took over?
A couple of years ago.
Okay.
She just kind of sighs. Y'all got the feeling of, pardon me if I put it this way, it's how I learned it in the military. Wandering shit kickers?
Dad.
I wouldn't refer to us that way, but
Single stern
sure.
nod of approval from Repose.
She laughs at the priest approving of that. Alright. She kind of bites off another limb and chews on it thoughtfully.
I guess I'll get down to the nitty gritty.
Mm-hmm.
The problem that came out that caused your situation, we mean to solve.
Oh, you want to go into the Bronze Axe with the 6 of you and fix the problem that 500 people couldn't?
Yeah.
She
Yes.
looks over. She looks over at Yang,
wouldn't-
unable to hide the gremlin energy, and she just kind of just sighs.
I put an arm up in front of Yang. Yes. I wouldn't say that the 6 of us. Wait, 6 of us.
She gestures over your shoulder to old man in a tree about 300
right,
yards
6 of
away.
us. Right.
Okay.
Old man on the wall,
There's only
ignoring the
5 of us
guards.
here. But no, okay. If she can see old man, she can see old man.
Like, no, she very clearly was able to pick
Yeah,
him out from a very long way away.
I'd say not only the 6 of us. Obviously, my intention is for our lot to take care of the
We have a cat.
the main problem of it, but we're going to need some sort of force in order to assault the main camp, the main fortifications.
And what do you think that 24 broken veterans that are on the run from one of the biggest and angriest polities in this entire region is gonna get you? We're just trying to live out here.
Yeah, we want to help.
She looks up and is actively kind of looks suspicious at that.
What?
Well, what we're coming to offer is first and foremost, for any who are willing, a chance for revenge. And then B, for any that aren't willing, succor.
I'll tell you right now, the ones who had revenge in their hearts are already gone. They went off on their own, separated ways. Probably
Well-
most of them are dead at this point.
What about revenge for the people who can't fight but want it?
She looks back up at Yang, now less suspicious and more. There's a very scrutinizing look in her eyes now as you got her attention with that sentence. And one moment.
Like, as far as I can tell, y'all are just trying to, be out here and exist. That's fine.
What's-
Someone,
What is Yang's guile again? Let me just pull up the sheet.
I think it's nothing.
2. So, well,
Yeah, you have a default.
fuck me, we've really got optimists out here, huh?
I mean, someone has to be. Actually, do you have any people who are hurt? I'm a doctor.
Oh, well, open wounds? No. Otherwise, she kind of gestures to the amputation of her left arm.
Mm,
We got a fair number of this.
I can't solve that in the field, sorry. That would take a lab and a lot of work to solve. I can't give you painkillers or drugs.
Ah, no, I'll be fine without those. I've lived with this long enough.
All right, your choice.
She kind of pokes at the fire again, thinking, can't say some of my men wouldn't take that offer, though.
There's no shame in it. Like, there's an adjustment. Like, if there's anything I've learned in the short years I've been alive, there's a frightening leaning towards just kind of accepting your fate around you that we seem to have, and I just like do a vague gesture to everyone ever.
Mm-hmm.
You can adapt real quickly to anything, even when you really shouldn't. They'll get used to it. That doesn't mean the getting used to it doesn't have to not hurt, you know?
I'm guessing you're a better doctor than you are an inspirational speaker, but I do get the intention. And I
Yeah,
do
you see where I'm going. Look, I was taught to kill people, not to talk to people.
If I had Noble for every time I heard that.
Darren, I would like to make a perception awareness roll to look around what I can see in the camp.
Go right ahead.
Specifically, if they have any horses.
Go ahead. No.
No horses?
None.
Interesting. Interesting.
She kind of looks back up at Obsidian Shield. Look. I don't know really what you're really trying to get. I'm sure you mean to do what you say you mean, and to go after the Bronze Axe, and to take care of them, and to get the revenge, and to offer the revenge. Most of us have had enough. Honestly, if there was a way out of here that was not risking them finding us, she kind of shrugs. Most of us would probably take it. Fair few would probably get back in the army if they could, if there was an army that would take them.
So,
Myself included, but
what I'm hearing from you, and I tap my fingers, there's a big fucker who needs to not be here. And that would solve your problems pretty much, right? This is a pretty simple case of just someone needs to go away.
yeah, simple case of somebody with an army of 2,000 men needs to die, and there's 2,000 men between you and them.
I've had worse odds, probably.
She's like spending more time looking at Yang than Obsidian at this point.
I guess the follow-up question, or something along those lines of, and please do not take this the wrong way, I'm just curious to an extent. Why are you staying out here in this makeshift camp? Why haven't you departed for any of the neighboring towns at this point?
That's a good question.
We're marked.
By who?
By the Bronze Axe. I would have thought
15 jade obols for each of our hits.
Have you seen? Have scouts been harassing you lately?
Lately, no. There's a finality to that statement.
I have an idea that I think we can mutually benefit from.
Go on.
Okay, we're strictly out of character talk.
Yeah.
Okay, this is out of character talk for right now.
What if Yang pretended he knew Yaku Man and said that he knows someone who could fix this for her? And the only payment
That
would be...
is is a plan that Yang could have, yes.
And the only payment would be to go out and talk about Yakuman.
So the idea I'm forming is we
No. Continue. I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say, like, if because these people are kind of, they're stuck in a shithole and they've been marked.
We're helping them, right?
Yeah. What if we sent them to the
swamp?
either the swamp or the outskirts town?
I kind of want to send them to the outskirts, town
outskirts,
because that way I could use them to
specifically because there is an army hostile to the Bronze Axe.
That's a good fucking.
Yeah, they would never.
Shit.
They would never directly attack the Jade
prefecture
Province area.
Yeah, they would just be a deterrence for the prefecture outlier town. That's a
Yeah.
good idea.
Bring that up. Go for it. I was actually also thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
So,
I
can
completely
we?
not put-
Are we okay with me turning this into a Yakuman thing?
Oh, I'm always up for Yakuman
You can
situations.
both do your thing, in my opinion.
How would
Okay.
we stop you?
Yeah.
Well, I don't want to hijack.
No,
the
and
thing
again,
right now.
nobody else knows what Yakuman even is. So.
And
Okay,
we don't
so-
want to hijack Yakuman.
Okay, so all right, time is resuming. I know someone who can solve your problem.
And who would that be?
Have you heard of Yakuman?
No.
He's
She
an
was.
ally.
You clearly interrupted her halfway in between saying like, "Who? What do you? What Mars?" But like, no.
So here's what's gonna happen. I'm gonna roll manipulation performance to pretend to have a rumor that I didn't invent, pitch it to her.
Performance is performance would be in the form of like a poem or a song. That is what performance is.
Oratory is also a performance.
Yeah,
Yeah,
oratory.
I'm thinking like
Storytelling.
he's gonna do a storytelling
Trying to
about
put on the show.
Yakuman. Yeah,
Okay. Yes. Okay. That's fine. And yeah,
I'm gonna build up Yakuman to her and be like, I know this superhero.
From Yaku Island.
So yeah, can I use manipulation and performance for that? Because I'm making this shit
yes.
up.
Manipulation performance to do that. Yes.
Do we get a die stunt for this?
Yeah.
One.
Just the one. Yes.
Okay, good. That's just the queen
Willing
10.
to inspire some
Holy
confidence in this idea.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay. One moment, please.
Sana, I don't know what dice you are using tonight. Never get rid of them.
So,
Just gotta bring this back in on her.
Just gotta remember to roll good numbers.
well, you see, there's a man I know. He's called Yakuman, protector of the 13 orphans, and he helps those in need. And I'd say you all need it. And I go on to spin a very elaborate tale of one of his. I'm gonna tell them about that time I kicked the dude in the nuts, but I'm gonna like tell shit a lot.
You're going to just take that one story and make it as incredibly baroque and nonsensical as possible, and it was already pretty ridiculous.
Yeah, I'm gonna make it like seem like a much bigger deal than it actually was with me just making a local thugs.
You're gonna spin it like that with the satrap.
It's like that was like maybe the crime boss of some mafia warehouse or something. I don't know. Whatever they would believe most at the time.
As Yang is talking, every single guard on the walls is turned around to look inward at the camp and listen. Every single one. SJ has turned from kind of watching you kind of suspiciously to just looking at you and just complete sideswiped awe of what and who the fuck am I listening to?
I'm telling you, heroes are real, and they help you.
Well,
Now, what do you say? Let's go kick someone's ass. It'll work, I promise.
She takes a long breath out. Dragons help me, I want to believe everything you just said.
I
think
believe
do
him.
I think I do believe everything you just said.
Take a chance on it.
As Tuvok in the background is just kind of like actually walks up and kind of puts a hand on her shoulder, like, no, same.
Look, I'm telling you, with Yakuman and this accoutrement of, well, badass motherfuckers, what problem can't we solve? Huh?
She just exhales again. Okay, so let me put this in a way that I can understand and not have to think about too. You've got some sort of costumed assassin that you know that you can point at this person.
So,
Who-
question:
And they go away, just like that. It's so simple.
Can
All
I
you
do
have to
read
do is say
attentions on Yang?
Yes. Anyone
Yeah,
who
does
wants
anyone
to
try to
read
be like,
attention, please
this
do.
is pretty fucking weird that I'm trying to sell us on this thing that you know none of you know
That
about.
we've never heard
Like
of.
I'm kind of putting us into
what-
a big fucking.
I never remember what is read intentions.
It is on your sheet on the overview.
Perception, socialize.
Socialize.
Perception plus socialize, yes.
Why is it perception?
For exactly this situation.
I'm choosing not to roll it because I'm fully buying into Yang's story.
He will appear.
Yes, do it.
Yakuman, the protector of the 13 orphans, appears anywhere he is needed most. And I've been traveling this last decade, extolling his virtues. And I can tell you how to bring him here.
Perfect. Yeah, okay, I'm doing read intentions. Using my tradesman social thing because I've never heard of Yakuman.
Yeah, you have been flying the rivers for a decade and you ain't heard shit about this Yakuman guy.
I'm just kind of half listening, but also at the same time facing away from the conversation so they don't see my face of just
Contorting.
What is he on?
I'm spending motes on this as well.
Please do.
All right.
Okay, both of you
Successes.
realize Gang is just talking about himself.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and Obsidian in particular. Spander is not sure. Yeah,
Okay,
Spander
Repose is on that pile now as well. Just the
Repose
one connection that would
and-
occur to him is, wait, is that one of ours? Is that any of my uncles that he's talking about? No.
Repose and Spander are not sure if this Yakuman thing is just an elaborate cover story for what Yang does normally. Obsidian is actually certain that, oh my god, no, he's being serious. He's actually going to dress up like a clown and do this.
But
Better
so
fucking
like
believe I'm serious.
all the rest of the crew sees is Obsidian just kind of smirks a little bit because Obsidian's like, yeah, it sounds.
All right.
And
you,
the only thing you need to give us in return is go out and tell the story of Yakuman. That's it. Hell, I even give you medical supplies.
all right, I only have one question.
What's that?
Is this a cult?
No,
No.
just a
All
really
right.
dumb excuse to do reckless.
So long
doing.
as I'm not petitioning some god I don't know what about, fine. Fine. I don't lose anything from it, I guess.
He's more of a local thing right now. He's gonna branch out. Point is though, no, it's not. It's a physical person that will go kick this dude's ass. Well, it can't be. I mean, don't make it a cult. Actually, please don't make it a cult. That's important. Branding matters. Just there's someone out there who's looking out for the little person.
I'll look in her eyes and she's just like, oh god damn it. But she just nods.
She also realizes it's just you.
No, she also realizes it's just you and you also are not exaggerating. This is not a cover story. This is actually
No,
what
this is just me. I'm just asking you to
So-
fucking like.
this is, and Yang, you see that in her eyes of just, oh god.
Oh my god, you're being a superhero because you're 20 and you're fucking stupid. Fine, dude. Whatever.
Fine. I will tell the story of this Yakuman to whoever we passed by who doesn't want to kill us and take our heads.
Preferably not as shitty as I did. You understand though. Like the story was good. You'll figure it out. Anyways, so cool talk.
If the scouts, as you said, the scouts haven't been around recently, they're probably assuming you're you're dug in and staying in place, right?
Yep, that is roughly the message we sent back to the last group was come and take the heads if you want them.
Have you been able to get people? I'm noticing no horses. Your supplies probably are starting to dwindle.
The two facts are connected, yes.
Would you have enough supplies to move your band, say about, 2-3 days travel? There's a village.
If we
East-
forage, if she starts saying if we forage, and then you, as you talk, she stops.
There's a village east of here, unaligned, but it is between them and Empire of the Bronze Axe. There is a faction hostile to the Bronze Axe. If you can make it to that village, they won't move on you without risking a premature war.
So you want me to go into a disputed zone in order to hide from another disputed zone?
Only this disputed zone doesn't know you're there or doesn't care that you're there.
Yeah. Yeah, all right.
I would
Hey.
also follow up with
Wow.
this.
Hold on. Can I just what's your name again?
Eshe.
Okay. Can you watch us kick their ass?
She stares kind of suspiciously. They who the Bronze Axe?
Yeah.
Several looks flicker across her face. Everybody roll read intentions. If you're trying to parse what she's thinking right now.
All right, I'm just gonna go with the regular 6 here. Oh, I
6.
did 6. I'm gonna spend a willpower on that.
Okay. Milan and Spanner. But don't spend a willpower. I should have said what the guy was up front. It would be a waste. So Obsidian doesn't have to spend the willpower.
Noted.
Milan and Spanner.
Actually, wait, hold up.
Hmm?
1 moment. I have things for this.
Oh.
I have charms.
I mean, we got you covered, buddy. Don't worry about it.
No, this is my
But
thing.
this is Obsidian wants to know in character. So in the meantime, Spanner and Milan briefly catch an uncannily similar look in her eyes to Yang when Yang is having a bad idea, before she like very quickly puts it away. Like, I don't want people to see that. Just like the idea of just like, oh, I really do want to fucking watch his ass get kicked and probably get involved. No, I need to be responsible.
I know. I'm gonna walk in
Okay.
front of my hearth and just be like, just trust me. I know you're all smarter than me.
Okay, so out of character thing real quick, because this is something that always confuses me. Are there re-intention rolls that aren't for intimacies?
There is intimacy intention roles, and what do you want out of this conversation specifically into roles.
Okay.
So
I can't-
basically,
This is weird because it seems like the only thing to boost read intention in socialize is only for learning intimacies, not for anything else.
that might be a deliberate gap.
I mean, you lead.
And I will say this does apply to finding an intimacy, as she is hiding one. She has a major intimacy of I take great delight in watching the chaos of the enemy fall apart in front of me.
Okay, then yes, on my roll they get their intimacy penalizes their guile.
Then yes, you would absolutely have it. Then you would figure that intimacy out. She loves the moment where the enemy just cracks and falls apart into chaos.
And what if there was a sudden military force in this neutral town that is suddenly defended?
Yeah, what if there was? And what if there wasn't there was an angle of an opening that they weren't expecting to like she's smiling as she's like
I
rubbing
know, I know
against
you
her.
got a bit of genius in there. Let us use it. Don't you want to get back at them? Come on.
Also, as an aside, if you are worried about the safety of your men, put it this way: this neutral town is neutral, right on the outskirts of the Jade Province. That's what the place is called, right?
Jade
Oh.
Orchid.
Jade
Jade
Orchid.
Orchid.
Jade Orchid
Tell them
Province.
Obsidian Shield sent you.
Okay, A, that. But B, this city is neutral right outside of a province that forcibly took all the people of that province under their wing. Hey, why is that place still neutral?
I mean, we're sending you out of the frying pan into the fryer, but it's at least a slightly hot fryer. It's still a powder cake, but it's not exploded yet. And then y'all can move on or stay there if you feel like it.
And if we do what we are going to do properly, the cake
be
will
free.
never explode.
Yeah.
All right. You know what? All right. It's been too long since I fucking gambled. All right. She looks up at Sumac. Start getting the tents ready. We've got a new place we're going.
In fact, I want to. Would it be wits? No, charisma. Can I roll charisma linguistics to actually write her a letter?
Yes.
Okay. And I'm just going to double check real quick, make sure. Do I have the linguistics charm? Did I take that? I did. All right, let me just look that up real quick.
As Sumac goes around to start informing everybody in the tents and on the walls about the impending move, Eshe has gone from just kind of tired and battle worn to what you're probably pretty sure is the first time she's had a real like mischievous, almost ominous smile on her face of just like
Let's get in there and make a big fucking mess and see how bad we can screw him over.
Hey, yeah, so... Oh,
That's a fucking great letter you just wrote there.
yeah.
That's diplomacy in a scroll. Nice.
That's
Yeah,
gonna get them.
you've got them in fucking gold with Dragon Slaying Burr.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's gonna get them a private conversation with Dragon Slaying Burr.
Actually,
you got
Yeah.
Eshe-
On top of that, just to see how far this is go. So I was going to spend the 4 modes. I'm going to commit to spending the 4 modes, which brings that up to 8. But hey, guess what? The mastery also lets me re-roll any non-1 failures.
So yeah, you roll 2 more.
No. For each 10 I roll, I can re-roll a non-1 failure. Okay, but no, that's just an 8. Only an 8.
But this is basically
It's
Gremlin
only
recognized Gremlin right now.
Yes, you have tapped into the gremlin that has resigned itself to I cannot responsibly risk the lives of the people under me to fulfill this urge of vengeance and gremlinism, but now you've got them safety. Now you've got her people to train.
Does anyone have a map of where they're stationed? I have an idea.
I mean, you
We've
have
got a
your
map.
map. And
Yeah.
they have a rough
Well,
map themselves.
Yeah, I'm just gonna draw like a rough formation of like what they might be doing in the dirt.
Yeah.
So what I'm thinking is we shouldn't risk your people because they're probably not going to be much help in the first place, for being real. They can be helped though by being ship posts. Like if we tie a few platoons to each one of us and just make them squadron leaders, we can do a lot of harassments on multiple sides.
Oh, I know how
Just
you
promote
might...
everybody to sergeant.
Hey, I know how you might be able to help us outrageously. You guard... How long did you guard the city?
How long did you guard the city?
Years.
Hey, do you know any
Don't-
of the secret paths of the city?
Oh, now we're cooking with
She
gas.
gestures with her good hand for a piece of paper.
All right. Well, now the hit squad idea has even more merit.
I don't know what I did for the dragons to see fit to send y'all to me, but I have to step up my prayers today, I think.
Yeah, we've been getting that a lot lately.
Hey, don't worry. Karma comes for everybody. Sometimes it comes with a bunch of weirdos gonna go do reckless good for no reason.
Well, don't look a gift horse in the mouth. We already ate all our horses, so...
Oh.
Aw.
Ah, that's where the horses went.
So yeah, she just kind of starts sketching.
Obsidian
with
only
her.
gets that now.
Look, I have wits, not intelligence.
Yep.
I think your men would best be used as also human barriers to stop people from circling around to us, and probably also contain them inside the city, make sure they don't spill out.
They've still got fight in them, is the thing. They're not useless by any means. We're outnumbered. We're not out. You understand what I mean.
Mm-hmm. Maybe
As
I'm being
they're having this
overcautious.
conversation, Angler is going to be quietly taking a bit of pen and paper and writing down some information to pass to her, which is basically going to amount to, if any of these people do not want to fight, directions to what's the town of the south, the major town that we
Clay
came in
Bottom?
at. No, below that, the actual Grey Falls, yes. To the harbor master and also the merchant there that I gave those little discs to, that if they need help, they can go to these people and they can get them out if they do not want to fight. And he'll leave a message for her later about that, but he's not going to get in the way of all this like gung-ho energy right now.
Right.
I
Yeah,
appreciate it.
if Sobriety Squad is forming on the side, though, hey, Clay Bottom did just recently suffer its own tragedy that has left scads of
Actually,
vacant
that's also a
homes and
good idea.
untended goats. They would
those,
appreciate
like-
more bodies to assimilate into the town.
Yeah, anybody who doesn't want to fight should probably just go to Clay Bottom
Anyone who
and
doesn't
help
want to
Clay Bottom
fight
recover.
for revenge would still maybe be able to fight to defend something, so they could probably go fight the Clay Bottom.
Honestly, like, I won't even roll for this. Like, this is not they are all, like, unable to fight, have sustained wounds that make them, like, you know, air quotes, useless. They've just been injured, and some of them have more long-term disabling injuries that put them off the main battlefield, but they're probably still going to be most useful in a military context, because these are all professional soldiers that are alive after 95% of their army died.
How much time do we have? So while we're planning the assault, as preparation for this, I guess, because we're doing this, I want to use my wood aspect bullshit to go around and just start making salves for as many soldiers as I can, and just like anyone else who's want to leave, also I will give them basic medical supplies.
You don't necessarily need to give a roll for that. That is just you're passing out painkillers in general, ointments and supplies.
I'm using ration enhancing method to basically be like, here's a week of travel rations, here's medical supplies, go get them.
Yeah, like they all very much appreciate that. Again, it's a group of people who know how to take care of themselves, but man, it's slim pickings out here, and also they're never going to say no to free support.
Yeah, no, they're in a position where they get free handouts from the Yakuman government.
Mm-hmm.
One more thing that I just popped in my head, and sorry, I'll do this in character. Talon Lord, Fang Lord, could you give us some information about the leadership, what weaponry they use, the styles they use, who they are?
Excellent.
Well, Hateful Eyes is the reason that Empire, she spits at after saying the word Empire, has that name. And you can kind of guess what he has as his weapon. Here's a hint. It's made of bronze.
Well, obviously that's fair, but one
Otherwise,
man does not make an army.
Otherwise, the army he uses is primarily used of heavy infantry. Usually swords and spears is swords is backup. Shield walls up in the front, pikes in the back. Very few skirmishers. Mostly slings, from what I remember. There weren't very many archers. No cavalry, none at all. They didn't seem to have either been able to afford it or been able to support the horses. They came in from the northeast, so it was probably too wooded.
Any particular people that stood out among his bodyguard or advisor corps?
Well, if there were, I wasn't around long enough to see that when I saw the battle going against our way.
Okay. Spanner would take this moment to ask around the camp to see if anything stood out to soldiers or what have you.
Mostly it was Hateful Eyes just going berserker in the middle of a formation. And it didn't sound like again, it is established actually at this point in your letters that he's immortal, but boy, he's really frightening with that axe. Just carved through most of their flank and just popped open a encirclement.
Berserker.
Here's a great. Can I via asking them, try to get an idea of what kind of style he uses, if any?
Berserk force. Like
Okay,
there is,
okay.
there is no subtlety, there is no form, there is just swing large man. There is just swing large axe until an opponent falls down.
Okay, so a worse version, well, not worse, that's a poor choice of words. A much more aggressive version of Obsidian. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
A much more worse version of Obsidian. Okay.
Berserkers these days don't know how to do berserking. All they know how to do is swing axe and eat hot chip.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Yep.
choose to believe whether or not this is true. Old man mutters this to himself in the tree 300 yards away.
It is. Feel free to believe that if you want to.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody would have heard it.
Yep.
Old man harbors secret, forbidden, strong opinions about berserkers. No one must know.
So yeah, that is roughly the setup. Unless y'all have other questions for them.
We should also probably bring up that don't ally with the Jade Orchid.
She shrugs. Oh
Yeah,
well, yeah, no, I figured this much from them. Never.
Yeah, they're not as bad as
She catches. You notice that she catches herself as her eyes flick down to your symbols of House Vanif, as in the middle of something, as she says, "Never trust," and then kind of catches herself.
No, finish your thought. It's fine.
Let me put it this way.
all I
As she-
respond with is checks out.
She looks back to Anchor. Let me put it to you this way: the original Jade Barrel, when we were at full strength, was a what was those lovely terms they called us? The ones that they should have called us. Auxiliaries, I believe, was the polite one.
Yeah.
Auxiliary mercenary company for the Imperial Legion. And then the Imperial Legion got called home, and our paycheck vanished.
Wait a
Yeah.
minute.
You were Dragonfire fodder.
Yes.
That
You
legion
were
that got-
abandoned.
that
because
legion
the
that got
league-
called home. Is that a legion that might have been picked up by my house?
You're not sure.
Okay.
You were abandoned by the army because you were seen as sacrificable.
What legion was it?
27th.
I have no idea if those are the ones we picked up or not, but is it?
As far as you know, no.
Yeah, because the only legions we have, we just picked up, and we just picked up two pretty ramshackle ones. So, hence
No,
my.
this was from
But-
the sounds of her saying it, it was a pretty well-equipped legion, and her mercenary company was the screen they threw in front to die.
Yeah. Okay.
This is just how the army operates.
Yes.
Yep.
What an unfortunate waste of life.
Yes.
She looks up to see Obsidian Shield suddenly being very forceful about that and narrows her eyes a little bit. When did you serve?
I didn't.
He's not a pirate.
No, like she doesn't even she doesn't even acknowledge that aside. She's like staring Obsidian Shield like, no, tell me the truth.
I didn't. She can roll all she wants. Obsidian isn't lying.
No, like, she stares at you as you say that. I see. You know, in another life, you could have been with us.
Obsidian gives no response to this.
She kind of just shrugs at the silence and goes back to working on the weaknesses plans. But yeah, other than that, with all of that established, we can move on to more travel scene or moving on from this otherwise.
I figure we help them pack up,
Mhm.
see them on the road, and we get on our way.
I think we're done here.
Okay.
All right.
You really know a Superman, Yang?
Milan, we are Supermen.
No. I get that. But tell me about this Yaku man.
You're the son of a dragon, Milan. Milan, you are a pillar of the earth.
I got no response.
You
Alright,
really know
sorry.
a hero? Did you? What?
I stepped away to
Milan.
go.
You stepped out at the perfect moment because Milan was asking, "Do you know Yakuman?" And then
You know Superman?
we're all superhero. You were
Do you
all
really
super-
know a hero?
You know a hero?
Milan,
Milan, you can shoot lightning. Yeah, but
I'm thinking about this.
Milan, we save
Right.
lives in the community.
I'm thinking about the. Do I tell my hearth about my secret because I do trust them?
absolutely not.
But it would be really funny to see their reaction to what I look like. Okay, I'm gonna step out ahead of everybody during the travel time after Milan. After Milan's gonna say that like 3 times. I'm gonna step out in front of everybody.
Oh no.
How much do you all trust me?
Great question.
Obsidian says nothing. He's just nodding like really fast in the background because he knows what's coming. Is
Ringing silence.
Yeah,
Ringing
yeah,
silence.
No, I'm not. I'm not gonna do the thing.
Yang, you're my brother.
Repose.
Shrug with the one shoulder so as not to disturb Moat.
Yakuman is. Look. Just when we get to the fight, don't worry about it. I might slink off. I'm gonna go contact Yakuman, and you'll
Oh
all
gods.
immediately understand what's going on here. Maybe one day I'll feel comfortable doing the transfer. I mean, maybe one day I'll feel comfortable enough talking to you about him. But right now, I need you, my brothers, to believe in me and not narc.
Holy shit. Yang's the sidekick of a solar superhero named Yakuman.
Nailed it.
Oh my god.
Milan,
you,
you nailed it.
you got it, Milan. That's what it is.
Okay, so
There's
like,
a
I need
distant fucking squawk of a Raiton in the awkward silence there.
call. You nailed it, buddy. I'm so
I have wits 4. I'm deliberately playing this as dumb for hilarity.
Wits 4 isn't bad.
Yep. Like, I'm deliberately, as a character, as the person playing this character, making this decision because I want this story to go this way.
Yes,
Good.
but also I
Really
agree with you. This is how the story needs
This
to
is
go.
perfect.
so just trust me. Let's go do good, just like always. And if a masked stranger appears in the middle of the field, just know, don't fucking shoot him.
I give an energetic thumbs up to Yang.
All right, come on, gang, let's go. Yeah, adventure, ho ho! And then he's gonna just sort of turn around and start walking and not think about it. And he's definitely not blushing.
No.
The One Piece episode of Where's Soge King?
Well, here we are in the desolation.
So yeah, as you walk out from the geyser lands back to, there is all of the geological features that you've been walking through so far have been pretty natural movements of the essence of the land, the dragon lines, the way that geology, for lack of a better word, works.
That
And then you
geomancy
step-
works.
And then you step across what is clearly a 800-year-old scar on the land. There is basically, from weathering, it has scalloped out the jagged edges, but it is a direct swoop of a crest upward where there had been an impact blast along this entire border of red. This is a crater. This is not a general jagged kind of undefined boundary. This is a boundary of shit blew up here.
Are you playing? I'm sorry. Can we stop for a second?
Yeah, what?
Are you playing this music to? Are you subtweeting me?
Not directly.
Okay. Continue. Sorry.
I was looking for ambient travel music and it came to mind, alright?
Fair enough.
It's
We're,
a
we're
good-
both being subtweeted. It's fine.
I'll add myself into there of being subtweeted
Okay,
as well.
cool. Everyone huddle up. Sorry, I stopped you. Go ahead.
So this is, this was the good land, as it were. The bad land, good land. This is bad land. This got hit with a magical super weapon 800 years ago, and it still kind of looks like it to a large degree.
This on the right, this is good land. This on the left, this is our troops. This is a hero.
This is a fallen veteran. This is a bloody scar on the land that has yet to heal for almost 1,000 years.
Suppose we'll be offering condolences to individual boulders as we travel through.
Yeah, it is ash and sand and broken up. There's the occasional scrubs of life and plant that have been aggressively trying to get their way back in. Mostly lichen. Lichen kind of grows everywhere. But as you approach the road, as the crossroads, when you make it back onto the main road, you notice why this is probably where the main crossroads is. Because there's about a 300-meter high spike of iron buried into the ground.
Ooh.
It is at an angle that is pointing directly up that whole kind of angled, climbable way up the cliff. It is pretty clear that this was the ammunition of the Sword of Heaven for this area. A giant fucking slug of iron that just hit the ground, and everything that was from outside ceased. Completely. And everything that was from inside also had a pretty bad day, because a rod from God hit the place. It is covered in rust. There is actually a knee to waist high level of just rust piled up in a giant kind of scree mound of detritus around the base of the pillar. It's enormous. Like, you could probably bury yourself in the rust and not be seen. And the entire surface is still caked in rust, and it is clear that it has been rusting away for hundreds of years, and it's still this goddamn big. It is a reminder of just how apocalyptic that conflict was to look at this thing. This was one shot of thousands.
I have an idea. What was that charm I used last week to let me establish a fact?
You can establish facts without charms, but
It was specifically I can establish something having to do with weather, not tied to my specialties.
Okay.
Because I want to throw in a bit of
yeah, and if any of you want to establish facts, feel free. This is one of the central points of this entire region is the impact site.
Okay, so some of that rusting and corrosion, that's not from just weather, wear and tear. That's from when it tore through this world's equivalent of the ozone. It literally damaged the heavens.
Yeah, no, the Sword of Heaven would do that, yeah.
That's
It came
space
down
rust.
rusted. It
Fired
came down rusted.
so hard, it first hit the air and then it hit the ground.
Considering that the air was also full of fairies and disease, yes, that was probably a good thing for it to have done.
I just wanted to establish that fact.
Yeah, no, it's a good fact. It's like, this thing was never immaculate and clean rust. This thing was dirty and pitted and here to kill from the word go.
There are tiny fairy-shaped holes within the metal. No.
Definitely going to, with very trained and disciplined respect that is successfully masking like a deep inner burning core of boyish glee, going to go up and collect a big old heaping pile of that sacred rust.
I was
waiting.
This thing killed so many elves. This is
Yeah.
I love this.
I was waiting to see if it was going to be you or Yang who picked up a giant Scrooge McDuck bag of the rust first.
I wanted to see if anyone else would, but like, yeah, since it's weird now that we're in a weird moment where fucking Repose has boyishly bounded at this rest, and I've already taken out my bag and I think I got my like science gathering stuff, and he's just fucking like probably like making a pilot like
Pick
leave.
it up in his arms.
Yeah,
Just
and I'm
dive
actually,
in
like,
there and just be immersed for a moment in
Yeah,
the
and
wrath
I'm,
of
like-
the earth.
This
I'm
is
just
this
gathering
is the,
like measured vials and reposes. This is weird. This is weird as hell.
this like Repose can literally feel the death of billions of things in this, and it feels fantastic because it's the death of things that shouldn't have had the concept of death.
Repose, are you okay?
Like a pause, a beat, stop a moment, stand up, look over at you. Yes. Resume.
Okay, I wasn't sure if that was
Before
like
Yang
quite-
went over, Angler took off that backpack full of rocks, dumped it out, and just handed it to him, and just like gestured at the dust and like, have at it.
I mean, okay. Look, I get it. You know, you think you can just store materials like this? You can't. You have to like. What if it's cross contaminated? You have to put them in. Like, what's in the bag? What did you use that bag for? Rocks? That's could be like. You gotta sweep this stuff up, put it into its own little jar. Exactly 40, like, and then I go off onto a scientific tangent about like how to collect materials.
Sterilizing and all
Yang,
these
this is a lot of time not collecting rust.
Just throw it at Repose. He's having a great old time. I'm gonna go do my thing.
Okay. I will walk over, fill the backpack up with a bunch of rust, and put it next to Repose. As he's making rust angels at this point, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I saw those comments and I was laughing pretty hard.
Just smelling the rust.
Go trip, sit, repose. Okay, I'm gonna sit here and get like enough for a couple studies worth. Emma, can you help me?
Did Auntie know that this was here? Did she forget?
Yeah,
Did
just,
she find this and then hold out that this was around?
Give me a moment, and Milan is just looking up at the sky.
Was
There's nothing-
was that a question raised out loud by Repose?
This will not be said out loud. He would never imply disdain for his elders.
Milan's more interested in the sky, just looking at something that people really can't see, but Milan can kind of notice the weirdness in the air of
Air
oh
aspects, God.
yeah, like yeah, I'll be there in a moment. Wow.
As Milan's eyes are tracking back down, he notices Mode is about 70 feet up the metal at this point, just kind of hopping up around the recesses.
Hey, Brother Repose? Brother?
Stops a moment. Just stops a moment. Have a think. Yes, he does that.
Moat looks back down and just goes "Meow," before continuing to climb, and
But
Milan may
still-
remember as actually watching. That's not just hopping from recess to recess. Moat can just walk across the surface of the thing.
I got gecko pads.
Gecko beans. Moat is fine. Moat just wants to climb the tallest thing that Moat's ever seen.
I'm debating doing something very stupid, but I don't think it's what Milan would do.
Can we
Okay, so at least tell me out of character.
I've got a lot of upwards mobility charms and abilities. I could probably scale this.
go do something stupid? Yeah.
Would Milan want to see what it's like up there?
There's something about the wind up there.
Give me a sec. Let me look at my charms. I want to see how I'm going to do this.
It's
What would
actually
the rolls for climbing?
A lot of
Is that
rust has
strength
been
athletics?
successfully set aside. Mode is right.
Strength and athletics.
It'd be strength. Okay.
Obsidian's just looking at it. Cool sword.
Is there a way to collect wind?
Is it at an angle or is it like straight down in?
It is at the angle that allowed it to burrow through a cliff.
Could
So-
I ride my horse up it, provided I'm pumping a lot of motes and charms into my horse? Because I've got scattered pedal hoofball, which lets my horse run across. It negates mobility penalties, and then I have
Yeah.
Heaven Racing Leap, which lets me like jump a range band up. and just like bunny hop my horse up the spire.
Well, if you hurt yourself, I'll fix
Yeah,
it.
that would be the rolls for doing so would get a 2 die stunt on that because that's
All right,
Oh no,
let's do
Milan's being
this.
cool.
all right. Yeah, you're able to very nimbly have Radiant Daughter zip on up.
Oh no, hold up. That was supposed to be 4 dice less, but with 2 automatic successes. We'll just run it.
Yeah, it's fine. You're able to just zip on up the several hundred meters. If this thing was stuck straight up in the ground, it would be even taller. As you go up, you can feel the air not like thin as though you're climbing a super mountain, but it's very obvious that you're going way high, and you are on the tallest thing for miles and miles and miles. That is not the cliff you are in front of. At the vantage point you have, you are actually able to look through most of the mountain pass up to the road where that village that has been marked as plague is, and you see a very faint silver glimmering.
All right, so the important thing that falls into place for Repose is, oh wait, it is almost midday. Wait, Mo's right. And then, just kind of a bit of a wind up, and then you see a shockwave travel out through the rust pit. As Repose then launches out of it with a leap that, gets some of the way up, and then he takes a big old swipe and claws into the side of the pillar to throw himself further up it.
Couldn't you just...
Yeah, that's 2 die stunt. That's just, oh shit, it's a noon, I need to pray, go!
It is the correct time of day to do the move. And effortlessly rising flame behind that for 2 more successes, and the 10s
Holy
explode.
shit.
Let me just pop that over. So, yeah.
Kaboom!
8 successes of whoosh on up there. Probably end up swooping Moat up just into his hand on the way up.
Is he okay?
Reach the peak of it, and then just...
No, not Mo.
Like, when I guess Obsidian and I see Repose jump up there, I'm just gonna be like doing my categorization of materials and stuff, and he just fucking does a rocket jump.
Gets his way up there at exactly the right moment, and then just quick praise the sun.
Did he see a spider? Did you see a spider?
He's very high up, you might have to yell.
Whatever. I got things to do.
At this point, Milan is just taking in the height and the air, just almost.
You are able to give. Sorry, go on.
Almost sort of meditating in a way.
Yeah, it is as Repose praises the sun at its zenith. There is a brief glimmer from the star far above, and a beam of little sunlight that goes kind of like as you are holding your arms up to praise it and to welcome it, goes through it like you are guiding that light, and it is again pointing towards the village of Plague, and you can also see the silver shimmering light, like moonlight almost.
Since when can he do that?
Give a nod to the boss.
Since when can you do that?
I'm gonna wait for Repose to wrap up prayers and stuff before I point out and address the village.
Where is Doom sure does just let you enhance awareness if it is Doom related.
Doomular.
Can I do Danger Sense?
Go ahead.
I think I get a 10 because I have the fucking merit.
Actually, I'll just use the charm then. If everyone else is like really starting to look around and be nervous, it would be very quickly the observer awareness method. Is anybody watching us?
Do I sense danger?
Nah, you're fine where you're sitting. That village is fucking doomed.
That's doomed.
That village makes your teeth itch level doomed.
What is he worried about? I don't feel like anything's wrong.
That is whatever the silver light is not the doom. It is holding back the doom. It is, oh my god, that is give you the Ghibli's level doom.
There is Doom.
Yep, on it. There's just like a brief crackle of Earth aura as he confirms that, yep, that's Doom. Doom was.
Receipt of ass kicking. Gotcha, boss.
That is extremely. This is number one on the list of that whatever is in there needs an ass kicking stat.
I can see a lot of things from the top of this astounding pillar of Fey death, and that's the one that stands out.
Yep.
Ah, that's enough of that. Let's make our way down.
Doom approaches.
And
Pillar
I
of Doom.
gracefully ride stalwart daughter down the giant spire.
I use grasping rope fine.
I jump.
March on back down the pillar.
And then as I reach to the bottom, get to Yang, toss him a glass vial of the air I took up there that I heard you wanting me to get that.
Oh, you can get air, huh?
Mhm.
I didn't know you could collect air, but I guess it just makes sense you just bottle it. Thanks, buddy.
I give you a hearty thumbs up.
The trip up through the chasm is pretty uneventful. It's just a very long, unnaturally smooth borehole through a cliff face made by a relativistic speed chunk of metal. Just normal things.
Has the like underpath been worn down into a rough road then, rather than being perfectly? Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
good.
There have been enough foot traffic over this for 800 years to basically lay out a path of least resistance up it. Where it gets a little too steep or a little too shallow, there is a beaten down road. And it is about nightfall. You haven't quite seen the village yet, but it would be up to you if you want to approach it at night or wait for the day.
I have no opinion. I would kind of just look at everyone else.
So when you did the hop, I guess I'll call it, what did you learn from that? Like, what did you feel?
Looking a little confused at here, like what?
You know, when
You're
you did
getting
the
back
hop
at what? That was interesting. What? Huh?
Yeah, you know, like when you did the. I'm asking you about your sense doom roll.
Propose is not used to putting the sensation into words.
Was it good or bad feel?
There is an evil that I must drive from the world.
So, like, the itch you need to scratch? How hard do you have to scratch it, do you think?
Hand is just kind of writhing in claw that you last saw tearing the skull out of a Skeletor.
Wow, that bad, huh? If only I knew warfare. Should we just go kick in the door then, I guess? You're the priest here.
we are not alone here.
Oh, ghosts?
So
Looking over at
Darren,
the portraits of our frog lunars here.
if we're, I don't know if that was a throwaway line from Loon or not, but if there is anybody trying to get a read on me or the group, I know immediately.
Well, that was in principle.
Yeah.
Okay.
You are not being watched currently, but you
Alright.
are very near extremely enemy territory.
We should probably start being quiet around now if we're not already. And if someone wants to go scout ahead,
Oops.
If someone,
All right.
Yang,
You know what? Let me put some dice behind this. I'm going to int occult to try and interpret the glimmer.
actually, does anybody in this group have any amount of stealth other than Yang?
No.
Angler.
Actually, how much?
Thinking-
Yeah, how much stealth do you have,
7.
Angler?
I was thinking of buying a little bit into it because that's one of my aspected skills.
Well, Coy did mention that there was a binding spell involved, and that she did get somebody better at binding with her to help. And categorically, better sorcerers than Dragonbloods is Moon. So
Moon?
some sort of silver light binding the entire area would line up with some sort of
Some
sorcerer's work.
kind of sapphire working.
A sapphire working to keep this shit in one spot.
Teeth?
Teeth.
Teeth?
Possibly
teeth?
Possibly teeth. Possibly somebody else.
It do be like that.
is this town a don't then?
Well, all right. So Repose will.
You were directly.
Repose and Milan, for the benefit of those who didn't go up top to scout, will like sketch out what.
Yeah.
What we saw.
Okay. Well, can I roll like stealth and just start doing the
Yeah,
while
sure.
they're sketching us out, and I'll start filling in the gaps, and we can smash cut to that later.
Mhm.
So it was Dex plus stealth, so 13 because my shroud.
All right. At this point,
What does the angle look like today?
Oh god, that's terrible. Can I make that better?
No. Well, you can spend one willpower to get one success.
Yeah, I'll make a 4. That's good enough. It's all right. Done. Go ahead. What are you saying, Lou?
All right. So my general line of thinking here is whoever put up this barrier might need to do work to maintain it. Might just keep track of it routinely. I feel like we should set up out here, see if this sets off any alarms and draws the attention of the Moon Wizard who put up the barrier. And then step 1 of our contribution to solving this problem is establish at least neutral conversation with Moon Mage.
Just make ourselves known, is what you're saying?
Make ourselves known, see if there's any willingness to offer up information about what's going on inside the bubble.
Okay.
I could do what I did when we first got to the encampment.
What was that?
Talk to them.
I'm not sure
no.
talking's gonna do it this time.
With all due respect. No.
No one wants Milan to talk to the Lunar. Which fair. Just the Lunar Sorcerer shows up and I go, how's it going? Good
You
weather?
never know with
I
those
suppose,
lunars.
yeah, with that intent now in mind, bundled into that 7 on occult to think about moon magic in this situation, does that feel plausible that they would have some kind of appropriately beast themed name alarm set up around things of notice to them?
Probably. There'd be probably something like that.
Some kind of spider's web.
Yeah. Yes. That is a term that got forward. Yes.
Yeah, so the suggestion then would be that we encamp like at the limits of the effective range of that. Just touch the edge but don't intrude.
Okay. So you make camp at roughly about where you would make your estimates as to where it is after Yang's report of You approach the crossroads where the village would be, and weird, where the walls would start and where the village would be is covered in a silver dome of constantly changing script that completely hides the inside beyond a vague, chaotic, multicolored shifting of the air behind it. And this script is shifting specifically into languages that you understand after starting out as something that doesn't look right. And it is basically saying, wild incursion, keep out, extreme danger.
This is not a place of
Nothing
honor.
here is valued. Yeah.
Yeah, it is basically that warning in your language, whoever is listening.
God, I love Exalted.
Let's make camp here.
Yeah.
Yeah, you are able to make camp right about in eyesight of that dome.
And as I prepare dinner, I'm going to prepare a extra plate.
For Mode?
2 extra plates.
For me?
I already give you a big helping.
Repeat as needed.
Yeah, etc.
In case we have a guest.
So, as you are sitting down at the fire as the sun goes down, you're basically having dinner. Nothing that has inherent to your senses magically has gone off. But in your gut, it doesn't take longer than about 5 or 10 minutes to get the intense sensation of, oh, I'm being watched.
Yeah.
Like that non-specific, non-directional, but certainty that something...
Yeah, the one, like, nah, I know what paranoid feels like. This isn't that.
This is not paranoia. This is, okay, no, this is... My subconscious is
It's
noticing
too
something
quiet.
that I don't. So my subconscious has noticed a change that I'm not consciously aware of, and I'm being watched.
My passive perception.
Okay, I will then use observer awareness method. How many people are watching us?
There are 2 watching you.
Okay. I'm guessing we're all sitting. If we have a
Around
fire up, we do not have a fire up. If I could get away with it, because this is danger country. But if other people would have done it without him noticing, it's fine.
We're sitting around the hot
it'll be a
rock
low
that is
end,
substituting
yeah,
for the
yeah.
fire.
It
Yeah.
is the embers.
Yeah. Okay. Jeez, I need to find my charms for this. Okay. I'm going to be using all-encompassing earth sense, and I'm going to be feeling vibrations that move through the earth around me. So I'm going to use perception awareness to feel anything within a certain distance around me.
All right, go ahead.
Oh boy. That would be 9 successes because I doubled the 9s as well.
You feel a lot of general scuttling about of animals in the area, just kind of like, voles and other things, Rhytons going through the bushes, other things like that. And then you feel a very large vibration behind you, from about, not quite approaching from, but approaching, hang on. Let's just get the arrow out. Like, not this way towards the camp, but more this way. And it is a very large set of vibrations, and you are able to guess before you see in the shadows of the camp light, that's a bear. That's a giant fucking bear.
Yeah, that's it.
And it is actually walking without any sort of fear or hesitation towards the camp.
How many legs is it walking on?
4.
I'm gonna need a bigger plate
Bear
for
many
that.
legs.
Since it's walking in from behind me, and I can feel it coming, it would be over the shoulder. You're welcome to share our hot rock and tea.
I
Can I
appreciate
And
it.
just wait for the reply.
From the voice actually comes from the bear as it speaks in bear form. I appreciate the attempted stealth with the hot rock, but you were about as obvious as that. It kind of points its snout over to the giant silver dome of light. As it walks up, it begins to stand up on 2 feet and walk toward you. And a bear walking on 2 feet is always a very unsettling experience, especially when this one is like 15 to 16 feet tall on its 2 feet. As it shrinks back down and compacts itself into somebody who, if Obsidian Shield did not exist, would be the largest man you've ever seen. He is now tied for the largest man you've ever seen. And looks like he hasn't shaved or cut his hair in ever. He is immense. He is broad. He is just the... It is like someone turned a gigantic barrel covered in bear fur into a man.
Sir.
As he walks up to the camp and very just completely not even looking very closely at any of you, uninterrupted, not stopping to talk, just slams down in the empty seat and grabs a plate and puts a double helping of the meal on it in front of him.
Yep. Well, dinner time.
Well, all
He
right.
begins- I want to ask, did Milan actually buy crafts for cooking yet or not?
Yes.
Go ahead and roll me how good your food is.
Okay. How would I approach my cooking?
And yeah, if you want to like describe it first on, go ahead.
Now,
Let's learn about Milan cooking.
because I knew that we were going to be inviting, it seems like a lunar. First of all, what does Milan know about lunars? I'm gonna roll
Terrifying shape-shifting witches that will eat your children.
into cults.
Roll that. But that is the general populace understanding of lunars is the horrifying shape-shifting nightmares that will come and steal your children and your identity and destroy everything you love because they hate you personally.
Okay, so they like meat.
Yeah, as a rule, you understand that some of them are not predatory animals, but you've been raised to basically believe that they eat people.
That is the general understanding, unless you live in moon territory, in which case you know to thank the horrible shape-shifting monster that will steal your children and destroy everything that you
Yes.
love for their service.
Because they're actually trying to help, usually, sometimes, maybe.
All right.
So, yeah, you would want meat. You would want
Meat?
the best meat that you have possible as an offering.
Probably not like a baked good. Maybe some some greens. Maybe. Yeah,
something simple would be
Yes.
like it's nothing fancy, nothing like no like pate à choux or any fancy ass like dessert baked goods. Something filling, simple, and tasty. And you probably doesn't give a shit beyond what else that is.
I picked up some lamb at the last place. Salted lamb at the last place. Yeah, let's
Yep.
have some lamb.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so like a lamb stew or something.
Yeah. Oh, not even a stew, like cuts.
Oh yeah, okay. And
Cuts
so
with
yeah.
just mixed vegetables to go with it.
And I'm sorry, was that roll you made the cooking roll the most
No.
recent one?
That was
then
the
add
what do I know about lunars roll?
Right. Add a 2-die stunt for actually catering pretty well to this specific guy's tastes of just meat.
Meat, perhaps with sauce?
Perhaps.
It takes literally an entire cutlet in one gigantic hand and bites about 3/4 of it off as it's soaked in some sort of sauce that you served on the side. And he chews on it thoughtfully. Not bad. It's not often that I actually prefer something to being raw, but who cooked this? He kind of looks around at the hearth.
Oh, I point to Milan.
I adjusted from Milan as well.
I
enjoying
give
my
it-
tea.
I give a nod as I put another shank of lamb onto the hot stone.
You did good. He just kind of puts the entire rest of it in his mouth and begins chewing.
I give a kind but holding back, I'm terrified smile.
He gives a smile back of, I know that look and I enjoy it immensely.
Yep.
What are his teeth like?
They actually look normal. Everybody roll me perception wits.
As we're looking at this, it's going to be a.
Perce-
Will your partner be joining us?
Oh, wait, hang on. That's not how it works, I think. It's awareness wits. Or perception and awareness.
Perception
Ah,
awareness, yes.
I got attacked by the world of darkness in my brain.
I
okay.
abstain from rolling, as that is a 1 die roll for me.
And I need to look up exactly what the threshold to notice a tell is.
Yo.
I think I'm just going to allow Sana to roll for the rest of the night. Anytime we need to do something important. Because I don't think you've failed or even gotten
Sana
close
has
to failing
gone
on anything.
bonkers on every roll, yeah.
It's Sunday
I
session.
mean, 1,000 miracles. What can I say?
Okay, hang
Look
on.
at
Bose
the
is seated
miracles.
facing away from the fire towards the danger.
Okay.
I am
Shape,
actively waiting for the other person to come out of the darkness.
humans
or
tell,
Moat is watching Bearcast.
Yang exactly succeeds. It is difficulty 7 to notice a lunar's tell unless it has been shown to you before.
Yeah.
Yang is the only one who notices that in the glimmering light of the camp, the normal white ivory teeth suddenly shift and are blocky, crystalline, fractal, glimmering, rainbow-colored bismuth instead.
Finally, teeth.
Finally, squares.
Do I think that means anything?
It's very clearly not normal.
This
Like,
is
abundantly clearly not normal.
this is the lunar that has been brought up now and then.
And yeah, you probably may, well, that's Yang, you may or may not remember in character, Bismuth Maw being the lunar that was the lunar who in charge of the Anathema ruins on the other side of the map, way back.
Yeah.
So he
Where
pulls
we
a kind of,
found
he actually picks up the bone-in shank from the hot stone well before you would say it's cooked, but for him, who knows? And then kind of lifts it up, but as you ask partner, he kind of looks up. No, he won't.
Okay.
He'll be watching. He only watches. He just kind of takes another bite and rips it open. So, you clearly know how to respect boundaries, and yet you still poke at them.
I mean, yeah. I say closing my medicine cabinet, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I believe a mutual friend of ours told us to come here.
And that would be...
Swamp.
Fish.
Of course the bitch would start meddling. He starts chewing on the lamb again. Alright, and what did she exactly tell you to do here?
So, poke our noses in things we shouldn't.
Sounds about right.
Adventure. Come on, adventure.
We also have another reason.
We do?
The letter. So
Right.
So
I forget. What was the content of the third level letter? I really don't remember.
it was that there's no need to worry about it. Things out here, things have been handled.
There will not
Suggestion
be
that
interference.
someone
There
did
won't be
something
interference.
out here that would distract the Lunars.
We intercepted a letter from a foe of ours.
I actually deliberately did not mute that because he kind of bites in hard at that.
He
Just
pulls out a
crunching.
beer and just bites the top off.
If this was a setting where aluminum cans existed, yes, this would be the exact kind of man who bites his cans open. But yeah.
A foe of ours by the name of Ruby Tyrant. We intercepted a communique from them regarding this area, and that something they're doing out here would not be interfered with.
Is that so?
And we anticipate this, and I gestured to the big dome, may be what they're referring to.
How long has it been here?
couple of months.
Couple of months.
So
And how bad did it get before you managed to seal it?
About equivalent to somewhere between the border march and the middle march.
Hmm.
that bad.
I don't know what's causing it. And frankly, my hands are a little tied.
By what?
He just gives a very long look at Milan.
Milan, did you fuck these people over?
Out of character. I'd also
Mil-
kind of, in Milan's brain, starting to think, oh fuck, what if that letter was to? Oh no. What if the letter was to the teeth?
The Yang is trying to toy with you, but did you actually fuck something up?
Maybe bringing up the letter.
We,
We don't know who sent the letter to Ruby Tyrant. This is me going like worst case scenario of, oh, we just invited a foe into our midst.
You sure went from let's make contact with the Lunar to let's immediately trust the Lunar.
who?
Me.
Milan did the Milan thing.
Oh.
Hey, having trust in people is an important thing to have. Learning when to trust
Manipulation.
people is also an experience
Manipulation
thing.
one. Manipulation one, people. Okay, so they're looking at me, and that was all out of character, by the way.
Proposes, pointedly ignoring most of what is being discussed behind him at home, and he is still focused on the thing.
I'm really just enjoying this tea.
I
I'm
will
keeping
say
my eyes
one thing for
on.
Milan. I will remind you that the third letter was written in the style of a bureaucrat, being very terse. Does this look like a bureaucrat?
Good point. Good point.
Hey, rude.
I forgot that part, so I was like, okay, so probably
However,
not.
he is staring at you after you mentioned the letter, after saying his hands were tied.
I put another shank of lamb onto the hot stone.
Hypothetically speaking, if some outside band of instigators were to attempt to do something to this location, I would not be obligated to stop them or to interfere. However, I would not be able to render assistance.
Hands tied. I understand.
I mean, like, not, joining their side is, assistance in a way.
Did anything crawl out of it before you got it under lock?
Nothing that I didn't put in the ground.
Approving nod.
Anything particularly dangerous in there we need to know of?
There's something wrong in there. I've dealt with the wild enough in my day. Something's wrong. This isn't how it usually works. This ain't the fair folk doing this. Something's gone wrong in there, and it's like a disease. It's inside. A disease that just rots you like the hands of time grab you with both hands and just turn you to dust.
Oh, it's like a literal disease.
He nods.
Huh.
That was the first sign, was people dying before their time. And then it started turning into people aging before their time. Then it started turning into babies being found in their cribs grown as adults. And then the next day they were dead as old men.
Can I like pop open a book that I maybe took from an SLC library and just use lore?
Yeah, if you want to figure out what the hell this is in either medicine or lore roll.
Can I use lore medicine or just in lore?
It has to be an attribute and a skill. So
Whatever.
In lore, you said? Okay,
fine,
sure.
No matter which way.
mhm.
I mean, sure, I'll try. I'm not going to match it.
Okay,
Yeah,
which one was that? Was that medicine or lore?
probably medicine.
Okay.
Mine is int lore.
So for the lore roll, there's a lot of really weird diseases that come out of the wild that don't understand or respect the actual way disease works. There's things like the grinning fool's death, where you just laugh yourself to death. There's all sorts of other things where it's like the dancing plagues in history and are in like modern real world history would be kind of explained by that was the wild did it. There's all sorts of diseases that are just nonsensical and supernatural, and they usually come from the wild. The concept of a disease that just ages you to death is one that would fit that logic, but it's one you've never heard of. Meanwhile, for Yang, diseases from the that you basically would get all of what Spanner knows. In addition, wild diseases are oddly stable because they are the manifestations of the things that live beyond reality. There are individual diseases that are masks that individual creations put on. And particularly prolific ones are the ones that creation realizes and like recognizes and are plagued by for years upon end. This is either a new mask or something strange is going on relating to the actual phenomena of the wild itself, because the wild is also a place where time doesn't really work the same way.
I think we found an anomaly.
I'm all for going in there and trying to figure out what's wrong, but we should take precautions beforehand. Is this something that if we breathe it, or is something we drink or touch, causes the aging?
You want to go in there?
Yeah. Don't you?
I don't want to, but I think we might have to.
There's probably something cool in there.
Bismuth Maw takes a long swig back of the just whatever was provided to drink and thinks to himself, that's the maddening thing. Only way I could explain it is it was airborne, because it just spread. It didn't rely on being touched. People who just lived in their own buildings and didn't come out, it still got it. Like it just came through the walls after them.
Can I roll a medicine roll specifically to think about like transmission vectors?
Go ahead.
Would that be what, int medicine?
Yeah, that would be.
that makes sense.
Mhm.
So another 5 successes.
So Fey diseases don't have to give a shit about usual ways that the plague gods have their diseases work. This could be anything. This could be any vector of transmission.
An invisible fairy touches you, and now you have the disease.
However, it is likely that if this is specifically relating to the life that you are living in terms of aging you and fast forward, you're all dragon-blooded. Your natural lifespan is measured in centuries. And you also, on top of that, have an immunity to all mundane diseases caused by plague gods, and an immunity, resistance to most things that would instantly kill people and are otherwise counted as, air quotes, supernatural diseases or venoms, like Yoshi.
And a doctor.
And you are a doctor. So, for most people, walking into that bubble would probably have them immediately drop dead at the age of 11 million. For you all, with maybe a couple of precautions alchemically, you might be able to just walk it off. Maybe. It's not something you've ever tested, but the logic tracks.
Hey, there's no science quite like street science.
Mm-hmm.
What about the old man?
Well, you
That-
just-
What about the old man? Well, Doc isn't currently here, so old man will not be able to reply to this. But yeah, it's fine. Old man, do you think old man would let you stop him from entering fucked up wild bubble?
Probably not, no.
Also, no. Oh no, old man might get even older. Watch out.
He'd be
Old
into
man
that.
already defies the laws of life.
Old man is the cure.
Also, roll me into cult difficulty 5.
Who, me?
Okay.
Everybody who wants to.
One
Real-
die roll. I abstain.
Really quick, check my occult. No, I'm not even going to bother.
I had to fail at some point.
Check in my charms.
Flex that hidden secrets whisper into this. 2 of those get re-rolled.
Whoa!
Good God.
It's thinking hours.
Extreme brain hours over here.
All right, that is 11 successes.
All right, so I'm just going to approach this from 2 different tacks because you both fucking blew it out of the water. From Repose's viewpoint, hey, what did you just grab like earlier in the day? Oh, right, powdered fuck the Fae. You could probably use that not only as a general purpose defense thing against the wild on the inside. If you use that as some sort of like base for an alchemical infusion, fat chance any sort of Fae disease is going to get through that.
Mm.
It's going to get into your blood and immediately slam into rust that killed the Baylorian Crusade and fall over. If it is
So who wants to make a
All right.
vaccine real quick?
So part of the Repose side of this, he will actually go ahead and slide out of his vest and get his mural out. And after going and looking up more things about ancient tattooing methods and other body arts, I've settled
Oh my
on, so
God.
Repose probably has the line work of the body mural done. The simplest thing that is done with tattooing is actually scarring plus dye. And then anywhere that tattooing became an art form, more precise tools like needles were developed to just more precisely poke ink into the skin. So Repose had all the line work for this, history of his family cut into him already, but it is waiting to receive coloration. And there sure is a lot of red needed for this.
Yep.
Nice.
This rules.
You actually catch Bismuth Maul looking at your tattoos with very intense interest.
Yeah, it's time to process some of that sacred rust into some manner of red ink.
Just going to inject raw rust into my
Yo,
blood.
let
And
me
here we
take
go.
pass
Really?
reaction. I'm going. Make you some dye.
Milan. Sorry, go on.
Oh, I'm just gonna make like red rust vaccine tablets for everybody, and then make like fucking tattoo ink for Repose.
Can I make a request of you, Darren?
Sure. Do you want to have something established with a roll that huge, or what do you want?
So, because Brother Repose's solution was earth themed,
Yes.
can you make mine air themed?
Yes, I'll just need a moment to think about that.
Because what I'm thinking is like an anti-Fae bubble.
Yeah, so Repose
Yes, actually,
personally
that's
has a bunch of Repose has a bunch of red to add. He would also then have the suggestion if anyone else could just like put a protective sigil on some part of their body.
So
Have that sunk in there.
it comes up. Milan's thought is, if this is traveling through the air, you know what's easy to do to carry on air very finely ground powder. You know what else is like an extremely common thing, and one of the literally the very first thing they teach you in the heptagram? Binding circles. What do you make binding circles out of? Things that hate, like things that the thing you are summoning hate. So if you had a trail of rust behind you, or a circle of rust to encapsulate you, or threw enough rust into the air around you and used the wind currents, if there are any in there.
I shall use my own aura to maintain a rust tornado.
This rules.
That would
Oh my
probably
god.
Milan.
just fucking air purify, and if it is airborne, that would purify the shit out of it.
That's how we protect old man. He hangs out in his dust devils.
Yes. Yes, that would work perfectly, is you just have him summon the dust devil and then throw a handful of rust in it, and he's probably going to be fine.
Okay, then if we're going in there, we're going in without the pretense of any kind of sneaky to find the big thing. It's just going to be we go in and we're going to kill anything that gets in our way.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
I mean, Pose is right there.
We have a 3-tiered.
We were already told there are no survivors. Repose has decided we were told there are no survivors.
I was about to say, did we get told that?
You were told there were no survivors.
Okay.
We were told there
It
were
has
no
been several
survivors.
months. There have been several months where this thing is in a bubble full of a disease that ages you to death. No one is surviving.
Okay. If people are like sharing these ideas and stuff, Angler would continue to sip at his tea and say, "Why not just make it in something that you breathe in? I don't know, like boiling it in water and allowing it to just go through your nostrils. Wouldn't that coat the inside and make it?"
Oh my god, I have an idea. You're a genius. Hold on, everyone check these out. And I hold out my vape sticks.
Yeah, so I'm just going to go on record here and say I knew exactly who was going to do something stupid with this and when. Sonny, you're the best.
So, what flavor do you want?
Surprise me.
You get cranberry bog, and you, Milan, get Alaskan thunderfuck.
What the fuck is in Alaska?
What the fuck's in Alaska?
It's a magical plane of existence that I just made up right now. Don't ask questions.
Sounds cold. I'm in.
Does
I mean,
anyone
sure.
like cranberry vod? I don't even think kids like cranberry vod.
Obsidian, you get the jewel.
Fuck you.
I can't even make a joke on this. You caught me completely off guard with the jewel, bro.
Back on Broadway again.
And I'm going to smoke some big iron.
Oh, well, nothing for Repose?
Doesn't Repose got his own tattoos a problem?
Repose is warming up the needles.
Do you
Right.
want...
Still,
I'll offer. Kara's?
Repose is warming up the needles and not acknowledging this.
All right.
fair enough.
Repose, would you like some help with that?
Warming up the needles, I suppose.
I've been waiting for an answer.
Yes.
All right. This is something that I should also ask that Yang would work with, since he's comfortable with this kind of stuff, but I have a steady hand. I can help with this.
While this is going on, I will see to our guests that we
Keep
have
in mind, this
suddenly
is
started
the
ignoring.
800-year legacy of all those who fell before me in defense of creation.
That too. But also, you
Stay
are
within
still a
the
human
lines.
body. Yeah. It's,
Okay, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to throw this to you, Darren, but I want to see if I can make this one work. I want to use dexterity linguistics for this.
Yeah, no, that makes perfect sense. It's hand control.
Okay, if that's the case, I am dumping the maximum amount of motes I can into this to do this, which I believe is 10 motes for 5. Let me double check the linguistics mastery thing.
There's some calligraphy in there somewhere.
I would like to be on standby to offer sanitization.
I think it's...
I think the maximum number of your motes is your skill plus any relevant specialties.
Okay,
Yes.
so my skill is 5 linguistics, because that is capped out. I don't think I have linguistics. I don't have any specialties in linguistics, unfortunately.
So you can spend 5 motes on your
Okay,
excellent.
then I'll spend 5 motes, which I believe is 5. I'm looking through the notes right now. Hold on, where's linguistics? Someone who has the book open, help me out on this one. I want to make sure I got this right.
Oh, this is why I use the picture the graphs, because they give a pretty good breakdown.
Each 10 rerolls a non-1 failure.
Okay,
Is
and
the
that's
answer
it.
on Lightning Quill Mastery.
Okay,
And it's
So it's just gonna
it's a
be-
2 per success one rather than a die spire. So you'd be spending
so-
4.
I'll be spending 4 motes then for two bonus successes then, and I'll be rerolling any 6 you said, or any non-1.
Each 10 rerolls a non-1.
Gotcha. Okay. Okay, I'm going to use willpower on that, and adding successes in, that's 6 successes.
Yeah, all right, that is good.
Unless there was a stunt attack. No, I didn't even describe a stunt on that one. I'm going to be, if he has any kind of notes, looking at it, and very quickly going back through the memory. Military stuff. Sometimes you need to have marks on your bodies to draw maps, draw formations, follow the pathway through. This is just showing a map, but it's showing a map from his heritage to this point forward. So to try to keep that in mind, I'm trying to keep the idea of what I believe reposes, which is this tightly wound ball of iron with maybe some sort of softer core that he just never lets out, and trying to make sure that this rust, ergo the iron, is allowed to get to where it needs to be.
2 dice done.
Okay, I'll roll 2 more dice for that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well that gets it up to
7
4, 6,
successes?
7. Yes.
That is very good. You are able to. Repose can look down at the work and get the immediate understanding and knowledge that no, none of your relatives are going to be mad about this. Like they're going to be like, "Yep, that's good." And that is the highest praise that Repose can really give. It is that crotchety ghost ancestors will find
Satisfactory.
the crotchety ghost ancestors find no complaints.
God, I wish I could ever be in a position as an artist where that would ever be true.
So
Alright, that's so impressive.
I address our guests like, I believe we have precautions we need to make before we adventure into the bubble.
Mm-hmm. Now I'm gonna warn you. When I said my hands were tied, I said my hands were tied.
You did say your hands were tied.
You can go in that bubble. That wording doesn't stop anything going in.
It's the coming out's the issue.
And I can't let that go.
It's a one-way trip. I kind of figured.
You're going in there and you ain't coming out unless you solve the problem.
I'm gonna ask a clarification because it might have been explained. I might have missed it. Aside from there's a disease, there's this, there's that, there's X. What's in the bubble?
The disease
you know,
is still inside the bubble.
the ravenous chaos outside of reality.
Also, a wild zone is inside the bubble.
Like, you know how the world is in a shape because the world got told to be in a shape?
Mhm.
And when it doesn't do that, it just starts going nuts, and anything that is made of a shape starts being peeled apart like a grape.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's stuck in there, and if it wasn't stuck in that bubble, it would be considerably wider and more aggressively expanding.
You remember
Maybe
when we
they-
went to the weird fire area?
Maybe the economy's in there.
Yes.
More of that. More of
Plus,
that and worse of that, it sounds like.
and a disease that, if left untouched, would probably rip through populations and age them to death. But luckily, considering how the wild works, that's not actually an impossible thing to get rid of. You just need to find the source of it and punch it either quite literally or metaphorically.
We just need to reintroduce existence
Yeah.
very hard back into this place.
You have several backpacks, buckets, vials, and just general, like, barrels of rust it's probably all going to get used in there.
Speaking of which, I'm probably going to want to get
We can get more rust on the way home.
some
Yes.
sort of.
We have rust at home.
I would remind everyone I did grab an entire backpack's worth of rust.
Unfortunately, Obsidian grabbed none rust because he did not mess with a thing that he had no idea what the fuck it was.
Fine, we got enough rust
Honestly,
for
like-
everyone.
Like 5 of 6 people grabbed rust or whatever. It's not a matter of if you had grabbed more, you would have more. You have enough, in like a capital E, enough.
We have rust.
Yes.
All right,
We
so
have
the
a
manila
left.
presents
Initial
here,
idea.
which I guess after throwing, I should have before throwing out the dice on the table. But all right, so during the time where the ink is being applied here, Propose will just incidentally suddenly snap to look at the lunar just over his shoulder, corner of the eye. Say, do you know teeth?
I think that is teeth.
Just in the same inclination that he has said elsewise. Yeah, he didn't mention the teeth. Yeah, I just noticed the teeth.
As Repose starts to look over his shoulder, I smack him up on the top of the head. Don't move. You're going to ruin the lines.
Propose has moved his head without moving any other part of his body. He's a professional.
The lunar just chuckles. I'm assuming that you just heard the name then, right? He smiles and kind of waves a hand in front of his face, and all of a sudden the illusion drops for everyone, and you're able to see the bismuth teeth.
Oh.
Not even looking.
My
Just
reputation
one.
precedes me, I suppose.
The teeth.
We saw some of your handiwork out southeast.
When you left your old place out past the marshlands, you missed a spot.
Crab
face
and an eye.
immediately. Okay. Actually, hang on. His face immediately darkens, and his grip on the bone of the shank of lamb tightens so hard that there are fractures in the bone, but he does not react. Did I now?
Crab, eye.
Tiny little crab. The eye looked handled.
Well, the eye was going, like, this is just a conversation between Milan and Obsidian at this point. The eye was on its way out. We just ended it faster.
His grip loosens.
Nothing viable. We took care of it. Just thought you should
So-
know.
Crab
I
was
suppose I didn't clean up after the behemoth after all.
and crab was buried. We sent it once it came.
And as said, the behemoth was on its way out the door. We just sped up the process.
Never thought anyone would be damn fool enough to go back to those ruins anytime soon.
We were looking
You get-
into the areas and just happened upon it. Encountered an anathema, saw anathema ruins, decided maybe that would be.
Yeah, hold up, you did what?
I sort of do the Riker squat down on the chair. All right. Let's spin a yarn. And I go and I talk about Idiot Skeletor.
It's not much news makes it over this cliff.
Yeah, we killed a Skeletor.
And
he just closes
I-
his.
and I go into details like, yeah, so this was our plan, how to beat him, spoke with the local god.
Tell them the
Angler,
whole
as
story.
they start telling the story, pauses in the inking, and he's like tapping his finger on Repose's back in a spot where it's not, and he starts a little bit like more violent, and then stops, and then goes back to what he was doing. Just.
I'd heard that some of those things had been seen around here. It's interesting that you grace my neck of the woods with your presence after doing such good deeds.
I guess you could say it's in our nature.
Frankly, there seems to be. This area just seems to be a hot spot for problems like this.
He actually kind of like has his shoulders slump a little bit. Always has been.
Yeah, no fault on your part. You've been doing your own to solve a number of them, but it seems it's more work than for one.
No, I get it. I get it.
Remember, there's the second one out there.
Yeah. For what he's worth. He just kind of chews on the rack of lamb again. Now is actually cracking open the bone and sucking on the marrow.
Nice. Gotta get that juice.
Throws the bone over his shoulder.
I'm out of lamb.
He just shakes his hand. Don't worry about it. I'm the sort that just keeps eating until the food's gone. But
Obsidian
you're right.
smiles and nods.
You're right. This is not exactly the most peaceful land that Luna's kept his eye on. He kind of... There is a moment where he realizes that he just kind of venerated, one of the Incarna in front of a bunch of Dragon-Blooded and looks around, but before remembering, oh, right, you're willing to talk to me and not call me anathema, you're probably not, immediately going to be offended.
We are
I kind of
not
hold up
marks.
my hand and I use the word, but for as far as I'm concerned, anathema is just a word for is exalted and is an asshole.
Man. If only the realm had more people like you in a position of power.
I give a knowing smile of, yeah.
Since we're camped down, is Milan wearing any sigils of his house?
The inlay of the sash that goes across his front has the house sigil in it.
He doesn't appear to have paid special attention to it that you can recognize.
Yeah, mine would be on my back as I'm facing towards repose, so I can't really see this conversation.
They hold the center, we hold the line. It's worked well enough for a while. Repose finds an appropriate gap in the needlework to sigh about that.
Yeah, until her redness decided to fuck off again. Making
Yeah.
all our problems again.
Yep.
Yeah, he's actually for the first time you've seen him actually kind of smiles wide, not to show the teeth. It still shows the teeth, and oh my god, there's so many teeth.
How long will pass before Keith notices that Repose put himself out here with him rather than in there?
Oh no, immediate. How long has it been since I've had a conversation with the Dragon-Blooded that didn't end in violence? Far too long, I suppose.
That's not always a bad thing.
Oh, trust me. Most of the people I target have it coming. And the rest just don't know when to quit.
There aren't many Dragon Bloods that have a good head on their shoulders. And I find nowadays.
There's only so many of us, and there's only so much we can do, I suppose. He looks actually fairly dour after that. It's just kind of staring into the hearth.
We should give teeth some space. Actually, I don't believe we caught your name.
Your actual name.
I don't give that out for free.
Fair
That's
enough.
fair.
If you met Coy, then you know me as
All right.
Wild Devouring Misbeth Maw, and that's how you will know me.
Very well.
All right, so in response to his general dourness and like the fatigue of being on guard forever in Creation's army, at another appropriate gap in the needlework, Propose will just kind of shrug. It's been worse.
Huh?
There's your manip presence to just relax. It's not so bad.
Huh. Yeah. Yeah, it has been worse.
He can segue into incidental tales from the family legacy.
And one or two of them he actually pops out. It's like, I heard about that one. I was nearby when that happened. But yeah, like you've lightened his spirits, but at the same time, it's very clear when you say it has been worse. He has seen worse. He has lived worse.
I'm gonna pop out of my tent from rolling up joints, basically. I'm just gonna give him one of the non-spiced meditation sticks that I make. Get it? Huh?
Fuck is this thing?
Put it in your mouth and light it.
Is this one of them like smoking sticks that the people on the isle use?
Yeah. But like special blend. Wood aspect thing. Come on, please.
He looks at you. If this is poison, your jaw is going to be hitting the ground before you're done speaking. And I'm not talking.
No. That's you've insulted me, sir. I'm trying to bring you to Flavor Town. This is a cultural exchange. I'm not lying. I just wanted to show him.
Were you raised without fear, or did that just come naturally?
Whatever. Who cares? I'm high. Anyways.
He was trained that way.
It's poison in the same way wine is poison.
Yeah, I guess. Do you drink?
He immediately lights up and it starts taking a hit. He exhales. Fucking weird.
I know, right? It just tastes good, though.
Tastes good, but who's the first idiot to try that?
I know a few.
Is it Yang?
You've never been around the Spiral Academy much.
Where's that?
Right on the aisle.
Oh, well, of course diners do stupid shit to themselves. That's all they do.
It's a college, so of course people smoke.
It's a he actually
That was me. That was Radway.
No, like I actually want that to be in character because
Okay.
he's looking at you because it takes him a second to actually recognize what the fuck the word college means. Oh, right, yeah, people who have nothing better to do than sit around and read a book thinking that's gonna solve a problem.
See, it's only cool if you go around like being a hobo and reading the book, because then you're like a. Hey, Repose, what's this word for smarty pants who go around and tell people that stuff?
Asshole.
Propose is not acknowledging this question.
Right, minstrel. Thanks. You know, like a minstrel or something.
That's not what. He takes another hit.
You know, pass
See,
that.
you're
Pop.
learning. If there's any like pauses in conversation, people would probably hear Angler kind of humming under his breath because to him this is akin to braiding hair or what have you.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. The same kind of headspace for when you were helping your daughters out.
Yep.
Thoughts going through.
Out of character, there is one thing that this entire exchange I have been rolling around in my head, and I both extremely want to ask this question, but know if I word it wrong or roll poorly, it's going to cause a fight.
Okay, let's hear it out of character before I say anything.
I want to ask him about Don't. He was there.
Oh man, that's.
I'm not going to give you any advice whatsoever. This is your character.
Yeah, no.
Your choice. This is your choice.
What would your character do?
But like, hey, one of my main goals right now is to deal with don't, and what better chance for information have I ever gotten?
Do you want to show the powerful moon bear your resolve?
I will roll to assist you on this.
All right, give me a hot second here. I need to go over my sheets, and I need to put everything into this. If I'm making a socialized roll here, obviously it'd be socialized, and I guess I would add charisma to this.
Yeah, if you're generally just coming right out in front and trying to do a force of personality, that's charisma.
Okay.
Man, don't harsh my buzz.
I'm I'm literally going to ask him just to tell the story of what happened.
No, bad vibes. Only good vibes. I thought you were a pirate, not a cop.
It's not a pirate.
This would be for a read intention roll, which really isn't what this is. Okay.
Or, I mean, if you want to have a bit more of a sense of how to approach this, you could try to read intentions at him and see if he has any existing opinion.
Any intimacies related to it.
About demons, about this kind of bullshit that keeps happening in the world. It sure sucks how there's these weird, giant, festering wounds polluting the planet. And there never seem to be enough heroes around to deal with them.
Yeah, so I guess I would lead in with that. Let's just say that during that discussion that we had earlier about how like there's never enough of us around to want to deal with these problems to deal with these problems. And let me do a read intentions with loyalty, reading meditation, which is discern intimacy based on emotion. Mm-hmm. Intimacy penalizes the target's guile. But that would be perception plus socialize, right?
Yes.
For the read intention.
Yes, I believe so. Yes.
All right. I'm spending a lot of motes today. I just want everybody to be aware of that. Well, so how much does he get penalized?
Luckily for you, you are looking directly at a defining intimacy. So
you'll love to see it. Actually, if it gets me more, I will spend a willpower on this.
No, you are able to get over it because it is a defining intimacy that is penalizing his guile by 4.
You love to see it.
And he's not actively on guard right now, so he's not using an excellency to boost it.
All right. So what do I get out of that?
Defining intimacy. I am so tired.
All right.
He has had enough of this bullshit.
Then yes, I will follow that up with
same head. That's why I turned into a superhero.
With the slash roll, the 10 d10. With my intimacy, not a defining one, but ties of don't dash what if wasn't of 2.
Yeah, okay.
Do I actually add anything for you actually tying an intimacy to something?
I think by default, no. Some charms can let you add the value of an intimacy to certain actions.
All right.
By acting to uphold them, you actually get a willpower back, though. So yeah, I'll let you do that. I'll let that count as that.
Okay. I will
And
probably
I
be.
actually called this one a stunt as well, like a 2-die stunt, let's say,
All right.
because you are going all in.
I'm gonna also just upfront be spending a willpower on this.
Yeah, so that'll be net. You get it and then spend it.
So this is with 2 free successes because I'm also going to use the socialize excellency on this.
Mm-hmm.
I am not fucking up this roll.
Don't let the dice hear you.
All right,
Well,
so
that's still pretty good.
6. Yeah, I'm kind of 7 with the willpower. Happy I spent those points. I'm gonna double check to make sure that the socialize excellency is automatic successes. Yeah, so just as we're discussing stories of how bad things have been in the past, I just bring up. So, speaking of bad things that have happened in the past and things that we're somewhat familiar with, just through talking with people we know, what happened in the middle of the swamp?
I suppose the witch told you about that too.
No, not exactly. We found out more from the witch, but we met the guards, who and I
Oh.
sort of looked to Yang. We have some relation to.
The little girl with a knife who got the gods on her side.
Oh, Here, hold on. I pass him another one. This is gonna suck.
He takes it.
Sorry.
What do you actually want to know? Do you want the gory details or do you want what matters?
All we know is it's a chaos being that eats chaos. Or purity. Actually, out of character, is the chaos or purity that it eats?
Impurity.
Impurity. Yeah. It eats chaos.
Close. Close enough, I suppose.
I kind of want to know what actually happened that day. Or days. We don't even have details of how long it took to get it where it is now.
Longer than that.
What, someone just let that fester for... God, how long would that take?
Well, first of all, people had to notice something was wrong.
Good point.
That took a while, as everybody who was involved in bringing that damn thing here ended up either dead or hollowed out like a puppet on a string. After that, a couple of local heroes tried to go in and fix the problem. Got eaten alive. So on and so forth, until it became clear that this was a rather large problem. And then the Immaculates decided to make the best out of the syllable. What is this phrase?
They tried to make the best out of a bad situation.
Yes, I believe that's it. You see, it was a combination of trying to fix the problem and trying to fix their problems. The sort of thing where you don't mind if some of them don't come back. But, well...
And I assume those people that they didn't care if they came back were the people that are there guarding the place right now.
Not quite. That girl, she was the X Factor. Suppose she's not a girl these days. It's been a while. But she was there to kill some of the monks, as far as I remember, from what she was yelling. Swamp God took a shine to her. Figured that it had a last-ditch effort in trying to get somebody on its side that didn't already have some that backing behind him. That thing in the swamp. It's not something you fight with a sword. At least, not something most people fight with a sword. Its simple presence twists you. Twists the land. If I didn't have protection of Luna, his blessings upon me, it would have gone a lot worse for me than it already did. If we didn't have... There is a long silence as he puts a hand on his head, like, kind of puts a fist on his chin, thinking about what to say. The champions of the sun didn't all come back 5 years ago. There's always been stragglers. We had help. And that's all I'm going to say about that matter.
Sidion's eyes would like would go a little wide just at that thought, but thinks for a moment. No, that makes sense.
With their assistance, we were able to trick the demon into a position where it was bindable, with concerted effort from all involved, and not without a small number of losses. Kind of turns and looks across both the hearth and back to the city and then back to the trees, just kind of taking in the whole area around him as he thinks. If you're feeling like doing something about it yourself, you're going to need a similar level of reinforcement.
Oh. While the thought has crossed my mind, I do know that right now we as a group are woefully ill-equipped.
You would be meat, yes.
Yes.
You wouldn't happen to know anyone who knows Second Circle Banishment.
The problem with that is getting in close enough to do the whole process without getting your soul eaten. Or giving it an opening to run away. It's not as simple as pointing at him and saying, "Get back to Malpheus." This thing has considerably more tricks than that.
Still, it is
Yeah.
one less piece of the puzzle.
Well, I'll be frank with you. If you do arrange something that I view as an acceptable amount of force to distract the damn thing, I will do my best to assist you in putting a more permanent solution upon it.
Well,
Consider
that beats me to my second question.
Let me cut you off and say that I had a champion of the sun assisting me last time, and that was not enough. Start thinking bigger. Roll me a read intentions, please.
Well,
Is
Like
that
anybody
everyone
who's
or
paying
just
attention.
them?
Yeah, I was
Anybody
gonna
who's
say.
paying attention to this conversation.
Yeah, sure. I'd probably be letting it kind of filter over me.
Milan was listening intently.
and I'm using my charm once again.
Mhm.
A lot of 5s.
There is a deep bitterness in his voice when he talks about that champion of the sun in particular.
Darren, remind me, lunars and solars aren't linked anymore in this setting, correct?
They are, but they are individually linked. So, like, it may or may not have been a solar mate. You don't know, but it's less like a bitter ex kind of thing and more a lingering sense of not enough. You could have done more.
I feel like the rest of this is, we don't have anywhere else to go with this.
Yep, that was my final thought. My final
I was
question.
wondering if any of you were going to press on that, but
That's
guess-
not our
I mean,
job.
The
We
only
could
We're
ask-
not going to be like addressing this guy at this
Yeah.
point. It's just letting everyone else talk.
We
As-
could
as-
ask about the solar, but
That's not our job.
The only
Yeah.
last question I have to ask is, as he goes to leave, and which is, how may we contact you if we resolve the situation in there?
well, if you resolve the situation in there won't be any more wild energy for that thing to seal off, so it'll disappear. So it'll be pretty obvious in that respect.
All right. Safe travels.
He kind of stands up. Safe travels to you as well, and good luck. Do the best in this, at least.
Do you want us to report to you or find you after we finish what's in there, or will you just want know and not need to see us?
He'll know.
I'll know. I'm not usually the talkative type anyway, but it was clear you wanted a conversation, so I gave it to you. Fix this problem, I won't need one.
I think the only thing left to do now is to get some rest and prepare.
He just kind of stands up. I do have to thank you again for the meal. I did appreciate that. It's been a while.
Of course.
And with that, he walks back off into the shadow.
And Milan lets out a deep.
I'd wait a little bit longer before doing that. I'm pretty sure he and his friend are still around.
Nah, he's pretty clearly walked off at this point.
Oh, what about the... Okay, I'll do another one of the earthly commenting sense. Are they gone?
There is nothing there is nothing on the ground watching now.
Ground, tree, all that fun stuff. Okay. If they're floating, that's one thing, but anything that touches the earth, I can pretty much sense.
Yeah, nope. It is just the wildlife at this point.
Okay.
Rabbit's looking at us.
Next time,
Okay.
Plague Dome.
Wait,
Yeah.
where's the rabbit?
Hmm?
Where's the rabbit? Here, throw a rock at it. We could eat it for dinner.
We just had lamb.
He ate
Next
all
time.
the lamb.
Made you all
Next-
plates.
Next time, Plague Dome
Plague
and
Dome.
just openly beginning of Combat Gauntlet. Welcome to the end of Essence 2. I'm making you earn Essence 3.
Oh boy.
Plague Dome.